Thank you so much for your beautiful music, Yorgis. And Roxy, we're now live on all of our channels, so if you want to take it away, go for it.
Hi. Yeah. Oh, this is so exciting. I can hardly believe it. We made it, y'all. We did the thing that we were going to do. We have just entered the final container of Regenaissance, where for the next 8 hours, we're going to be in this space. I mean, that's if you decide to hang out in the same room with us for the next 8 hours, which I hope you do. For the next 2 hours, we are going to be hearing from our brilliant revolutionaries, visionaries, partners, creators of the Design Science Studio. And then we'll have a little bit of a ceremony of transition as we'll be emerging from the completion of this incredible 8-day experience. And then Becca Tacchini will take us on a journey. We are on the vision train as we speak. Take us on a journey for many hours, musical journey. Incredible. But where are you? Is this your first time here? If somehow this is your first time here, I welcome you because you have arrived just in time. And for all of those of you who have already been here, welcome. We are in it. Regenera Rising, this global confluence for creators of regenerative futures. Our inaugural celebration. This is the RP. The Regenaissance, this decade-long global movement. We come together. Creators, systems thinkers, organizations. We're imagining, collaborating, and co-creating this world that works for all life. This is a historical moment for planetary and cultural regeneration. We have birthed a story universe created by the Design Science Studio just to scaffold and uplift thousands of projects throughout the decade ahead for this future that is regenerative, equitable, and just. Because we know that art and design is a cross-cultural language for systemic change. And through the uplifting of our collective creative capacity, we can harmonize by envisioning, by embodying this future. And so here we are, we're in it. And we're launching 144 revolutionary projects as a part of it. So without further ado, get to hear more about this. And first and foremost, we will get to have a little bit of a ritual, which is very important. Being moving in the world, but we need more time to will you help us?
But of course. Do we need Mel up here as well? Do we need Mel as well?
My
Mel
goodness.
as well? Is he around?
Have Mel? No.
Look, first things first, I need everybody who's present to turn their camera on because I need to know if it's the same people from the morning or if it's the people from the afternoon. Let's see what's happening here. Good. It's a mixed crowd. Yeah, we see that there are people who are hooked on the planetary sessions and don't miss a single one. It's great to have you all with us. Now, at the very, very end, it is important to keep the energy strong. So I'm going to ask you to do a little thing. I'm going to ask you to move along. I'm going to ask you to let the music enter your ears, enter your eyes. Yes, let it surprise you in ways you did not expect. Become the music. Come on. Become the music. If you feel that you've lost your ability to move to music, look at the people on the screen. Yeah, Karen is moving nicely. She's moving nicely while she paints. What are the rest of you doing? Gonna make some music together. Very nice. All right. I want to see you snapping. Now, can I see you snapping? Can I see you snapping? Can I see you snapping? Make some music on your side of this transmission. Get yourself involved without a mission. Yeah. Very nice. I think that music is first and foremost a vessel of emotion. And so, if you charge this space up with emotion, it will have a part of you and we will incubate that emotion and give you something better back. So, focus your attention here, everybody focused here. Raise your hands if you're present and you're ready to participate. Everybody, all hands on deck. Good. I need to hear you people make a happy noise. I need to hear you people make a happy noise. I need to hear you people make a happy noise. Lovely. I need one more happy noise from you. All right, now we're gonna do the techno build-up. Ready? We're gonna go. Oh, and help me with your hands. Oh, do special effects with your hands so we know the build-up is here. Oh, where are my brothers' voices?
I'm here, just slowly.
Yes. There are brothers present in the circle. I love it. Let's see how the sisters do. Where are my sisters' voices?
We are here. We are here.
Where are my sisters' voices? Lovely. Good. So what I've done right now, ladies and gentlemen, what I've done right now is open the space to you all, because this is in a space of exceptional trust. It is a space of exceptional trust. And now what I would like to do, and what everybody here in the Design Science Studio would like to do with you, is to send a very clear message that this exceptional space of trust and togetherness should transcend what we've done these past couple of months. It should transcend this Zoom call. So the word of today, beautifuls, is belief, because we believe in you, and we believe that with the power of belief, we can leverage creation. We can leverage creation to not only realize what scientists have realized, that we are royally screwed, for example, but that we as creators, through the power of belief and collective belief, can envision beautiful realities. We can project wonderful manifestations. We can write amazing poems that weave the future. And we can also prototype amazing things to inspire us and others. And the important thing to remember in all of this is some people will say we sound a little hippie. Yeah, some people will say we sound a little culty. But the fact is, I think it is no crime and there is no shame in admitting to yourself and others that our true religion is love. If your religion is love, let me see a show of hands. Good. My religion is love too. Brother, sister, just like you. You are not alone. You're in this gang. So because love requires a warrior-like determination to be brought to the front line of where it's needed most, I would like to see you get into a warrior mentality. A love warrior mentality, yeah. Love warrior mentality. Let's see you moving. Love warrior mentality. Let's see you quaking. Love warrior mentality. Let's see those eyes. Who can show me a proper love warrior face? Ha! Yes, Hannah. Yes, Amanda. Yes, Rasma. Yes, Robert. Good. All right. I want to energize you. I want you to know that you're going to have to take these beautiful ideas into that hostile world. You're going to have to fight ignorance, stupidity, and all kinds of forms of other nonsense. And you know what? We believe in you. So, to close this space, I would like to ask you, oh, somebody put Bob Marley up. Amazing. I would like to ask you to sing the following. I want you to sing it loud with your microphones muted. I want your neighbors to hear, okay? I want you to sing. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh.
We should harmonize.
Good. Now, let's do the following. First one is muted. Everybody muted, because we're going to project it outwards. And then we're going to project it inwards so you can unmute. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Show me your hands. Show me hands. Show me those hands. Ready. Let's get it moving. Yeah, come on. Let's see them clapping. Yeah. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go. Ha. Love warrior. You go. Oh, 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 oh. Love warrior. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Love warrior. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Love warrior. Whoa. Come closer, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit closer. Come closer. A little bit closer. Good. Lovely. Tony, you can come closer. We don't bite. We want to induct you in this sect. Come closer. Good. Listen. Yes. Son of day bastard, child of night. I was born into the dark, conceived in endless light. Yeah, I am a ripple on a tranquil lake, a patch of icy calm in cataclysmic wake. Love warrior, a hippie in disguise, of unassuming form, of undistinguished size. You are a love warrior, 5 fingers in the air, clenched into a fist. Pretend that you don't care. You are a love warrior. Love warrior. Love warrior. Love warrior. Yeah, so beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, this song is just to prepare you and for you to know that I am honored and proud to be entering this war, the series of battles where we will be trying to transcend the reality we have by shifting people's mentality. And I'm honored to call you my compatriots, my fellow warriors, my brothers and sisters in arms, and the warriors which do no physical harm. I'm absolutely honored. And yeah, and I think if you got the message, I think now we can pass it back to Roxy.
And I pass it back to Nico.
You know, Roxy, I believe that music in the form of vibrations is something that can enter our being. And if it enters our being, it can remind us of beautiful things. It can invoke very profound emotions. So whenever you're feeling a little bit down, you can remember me going, oh, 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 oh. And let's hope that it elevates your emotion. I'll give it a 1-year warranty. Afterwards, you need to return to me and you need to sing oh, 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 oh in a collective circle so the magic, so the magic's expiration date doesn't go off.
Expiration dates are a thing of the past.
Time is a thing of the past. Time doesn't exist anymore.
We're transcending it all.
All right. Are we ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, but we have one person who's going to really tell us everybody. Amanda, are we ready to go?
It's Amanda's on the stage.
Train's leaving the station.
YouTube.
All right. So I hope you guys are ready for 2 hours and then 6 more hours of a lot of fun. And we're also going to get a little bit emotional, saying thanks to everybody. But first, we're gonna receive a bit more of wisdom and cool things from some of our incredible speakers this afternoon, where I am, but morning or night, wherever you are, maybe. It's my great really honor and pleasure to introduce you to our next guests. I'm gonna, whoever is hosting, can you bring her? Yes, thank you. Hi, Amber. Ah, this is a
Hi.
human. I want you guys to know that this is a human that if you haven't been exposed to yet, she will probably provoke the same things that it provokes in me, which is this like warm feeling of like just love and admiration and just like, you know, willing to have more of that energy around. Amber is a Chumash indigenous artist, and she has been working in some incredible projects. Really, is it she? Is that your pronoun? Sorry, I'm making assumptions.
She, her, they, them. It's
Okay.
both for me.
She has been researching and developing cultural strategies for reconciliation, drawdown, reparations, bioremediation, and ecological regeneration. And she has been doing that in the most beautiful, incredible way. And you'll see what I mean by that. I told her the other day that she has poetry inside, like everything she touches is like imbued by poetry, and I think that's the best way to go about things. Is just to find in the rhythm and the beauty into things, and it's a more it's a much better way to just explain things and to get messages across. Her current project that has been brewing into the Design Science Studio is called Regenerative Footprint, and I'll leave you the stage to tell us all about it. And hopefully you'll also be able to share that amazing video that you made that has me in shivers every time.
Okay, I'll do my best with that. Thank you so much for having me, and Jurgis, thanks for getting us started. I'm amped, I'm jazzed. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this vision train of a world that works for everybody, that is heart-centric, and yeah, I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you. So yeah, I'm Amber Bassett, and this is my work. I'm going to do a share screen here so you can see. I've been working with these two basically integrated programs. And they're symbiotic. They're meant to work together, basically. So let me see if I can move this to the side or put this elsewhere. So I'll put it over here. Okay, so my programs are Kinfinity and the Tender Heart Principle. And basically, Kinfinity means infinite kinship with all life. And it's a small hub for regenerative culture and education to exist. And it's about creating agile community access to this kind of culture that is culture of custodianship. So custodianship at the meta scale of economies, ecologies, and societies, but engaging and actable at the community scale. So, okay. These two programs are agile programs, so they're meant to be informed by communities and in a decentralized way, really. They're meant for these communities to be able to work together, you know, like at networks that are local, bi-regional, national, and international, through collaborations and human agency that are engaging with synergy with nature and with the biosphere, with compassion and peace and reconciliation, and from this commitment inside of a perspective of global unity. So the objective of Kinfinity as an education environment is to create a model which enacts forms of counsel and curriculum around the paradigm of peace through the interdependence between urban, rural, and indigenous populations, with open access methods of curriculum and an array of global learning styles, with an emphasis on emotional intelligence, empathy training, and restorative justice. This type of learning style it's taking the brain off of a pedestal and integrating multiple forms of pedagogy, so that this kind of almost like a cooperative type of model can be started and curated for these environments where learning happens on its own through provocation. I love, my favorite pedagogy is actually Reggio Emilia for this reason. So it would feature like a map of a facility to discover learning as an adventure, for example, and would use performances, collaboration, and partnerships to allocate funds and resources, while also creating transparent entrepreneurship. So basically, the environment in Kinfinity is supported and made possible by the Tender Heart Principle, but we'll get into that. So here, this is important. I'm going to move this to the side. So it's designed for these partnerships to bridge the gap between the cost of high-quality education and evolved usage of a property tax base from formerly redlined communities. These are also called under-resourced communities, but that doesn't really get to the point of how systemic racism has transpired, particularly in subtler countries. And by engaging in this context of design principles with dignity as an intentional dynamic, it's possible to outmodel the school-to-prison pipeline with these creative environments, such as immersion into nature, again, like taking academia alone off of the pedestal, and really about finding out one's essence, like why we're here, what joy exists within yourself that wants to come out into the world, and proactively addressing the impacts of poverty on the child or teen by providing food sovereignty as a curriculum and orchestrating the support for basic interrelated needs to the family as a whole. And this could also include mediation, holistic care, and spaces for parents to deconstruct and break the cycles of violence, trauma, and addiction, which is more so how the Tender Heart Principle would work to support Kinfinity in doing that. So these are spaces to connect through experiences of culture and human agency, in rhythm with the patterns of nature, and experiences of really going beyond consumerism to witness embodied potential, empathy, ideas, expressions, and capacities. So this is a mythopoetic portfolio and transcript. This would happen in the school and also in the regenerative hub for managing the bioregion, basically at the community scale. So it's looking at it through a much more mythic lens, a much more creative lens, rather than having just a list of information that we're here to regurgitate back. Your transcript would basically look like this. And this is the concept of regalia, and I call regalia instead of costume. So these are designs that can be lesson plans, actually, for somatic learning, for reclaimed indigeneity. And indigeneity meaning like we are each indigenous to this planet. And so by being fully in the body and being fully engaged in states of play and flow states is a way of basically syncing up with others, and at the same time learning these different, like everything about nature, and without even appropriating cultures from indigenous cultures to do this. So, for example, the one in the center, the man with the this is based on mycelium, and so you could have a conversation of the parallels between mycelium and human agency or collaboration, and have a whole be about embodying that. So, I'm very excited about that part. And so, the Tender Heart Principle is the idea that compassion is more powerful than the forces of brutality. And by our diverse resources and skills and common vision, we can co-create a world that multiplies generative patterns of abundance and coherency. And it's really a nest to support regenerative culture as collaboration, again, moving out of and beyond consumerism, because we're not here to consume the earth, we're here to connect with each other and to reveal our capacities and potentials. So, yeah, engaging in the community at the local ratio, but also almost like a mycelial network of hubs. And these hubs are designed for working opportunities for artists to work individually and collaboratively, including the effective immersion between otherwise siloed experiences of culture. Yeah, and it's sort of like an incubation center for empathy, really. And this is where we get into what the guiding principles behind this is, which is a framework of omni-stewardship and peak care. So omni-stewardship is effective functioning at the community scale in the stewardship of ideas. The child is both ancestor and forcestor, and the living library of Gaia. Peak care is a term that is an anticipation of our success, of being able to steward our economies, ecologies, and societies. And yeah, this is done through a membership base, similar to a gym membership, but you know, or similar to like a working environment, co-working environment that are popular right now. But again, work is not on a pedestal, and so self-care can be a part of this, and art and performances, and it's really about connection and custodianship, and exists on a sliding scale, with complete transparency around the uses of all of these different, basically how the amenities are run, and is much more focused on relationships. So yeah, it can be any of these different things in a curated space to allow this kind of support to happen. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right.
Amber,
We get to see your amazing video.
Yeah, I can do that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so incredible.
What an inspiration, Amber.
You're such an inspiration, Amber.
Thank you. Thank
There's
you.
hope in this world because beacons like you. Like this.
There it is. Okay.
Just remember to share audio and video when you push share button.
Okay. Is that working? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but we haven't. It doesn't look like it's shared yet.
Okay. Let me do share screen one more time. Okay. Is that good?
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh, you have to kick up the volume though. I don't know if you push the audio button. When you push share, did you push share computer audio?
Is it here?
So just unshare it one more time. I can tell you. It's super easy. So when you unshare and you click share on the bottom left corner before you push the official share button, there is a little button that says share computer audio and share optimize for video. There are two little click check boxes. And then you select the screen you're sharing and then bam.
I don't know where I can find that. Is it on the top left or?
So you click share screen. And then on the bottom left corner where it lets you select which window, it says share sound or optimize for video.
I found it.
Both of those and then share the screen.
Beautiful.
Yeah, yay!
Thank you so much.
Of course. Such a beautiful video.
And you put optimize screen sharing for video clip?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you for your patience.
Unstitched from the body of time, unmoored into feral chasm, sacred terrains of knowing have begun to pollinate the baffled womb, whose authorship foments new fugues for ancestral tasks. It asks, who will dance upon your bones in the high, high grass? How will you inherit the smattering opal breath of infancy in the silt of forests yet to be born, in the crack of a honeyed dawn? What egrets will sojourn past the mirrored plains of waters that once bore you? We are the forcestors, weaving a shift in the boundless web of gossamer jewels, whose tumbling molts into the shimmer between what was and becoming, singing the sunlight into our being like a note in a bottle in the sea that would say, we were here in the vast occupation of an ever-renewing now. Do not listen to the thieves of hope. Hope is a word derived from delta, where estuaries and their tendrils clasp towards the sea in completion and incompletion. Be forever fretted into a tapestry of the great void. Be ever humbled and curious as a tool for its auspicious lines of song, rippling into the wild folds of arms lifted, glinting, luminous. Let your doubts wilt. Feed into the sounds of busted clocks in their bursting. Feel that whole, languid notion, writhing in the stuttering opus, billowing in the tumult, where echoed hours connect gently in sinews, fine drops in the humming, draws flint in its sparking. Reach, reach, weave, listen. The blanket of an old night is lifting, and new volumes of a thundering grace has fingerprints for labyrinths that lead us towards etudes of gratitudes from the future ones. It is a bridge, you see, seeking the nails in your pockets for its rising, seeking the deliciousness of your own tomb as a space for the forcessors to dance in wild abandon, and the sacred yes of becoming.
That was so beautiful. Oh, thank you for adding that and sharing that video. Their poetry.
Thank you.
Amber, it is such a delight to have you and your art and your vision as such an integral part of what we're doing. Amber, for everyone to know, was in both the Design Science Studio and the Design Science Studio sub-program, the Living Systems Collaboratory, and it's the facets of this vision that like span beyond our current ancestors, our forecasters, but beyond your lineage and the lineages to come, spaces for self-care. It's so like full system, like such a full systems approach, and I look forward to all of the people who your vision will inspire to continue on with this kind of work. And thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Roxy. It's been a pleasure to be here. And that's an excerpt from this I'm working on to share these ideas and interviews and things like that. So thank you.
It's just the beginning. Amazing. Oh my goodness. What a crew, Jorgis. What do you think?
No, Roxy, I think that we could win, you and me, the award for the hardest last name.
Oh?
Who else?
I think yours is harder.
Mine is harder?
Yeah, because it has a little thingy that I don't know what.
It sounds like it's Dijulis.
Dijulis.
And yours is but I struggle with it. Shohadi.
No, it's phonetic. It's phonetic. Shohadai.
I wanna compete here too.
Okay.
I'm gonna put there my second name so you see how easy it is, and I dare you to pronounce it.
Good. You know why I did this? Because you asked me to introduce your little sister. And
my little sister. My big sister.
Your big sister, sorry. And I didn't know how to pronounce her last name, and so I was thinking, how am I?
Oh,
because then I'd have to call you and ask you, how do you pronounce your last name? So at least now we know. But now that the cat's out of the bag, I think that you can honor your sister and shower her with all kinds of praise and petals of beautiful words as well.
Glowing rose petals. My beautiful sister. This is my big sister, Miriam Shohadai Kimbrough. She is a designer of any kind, graphic designer and a branding expert. She has a beautiful 2-year-old, my little niece, who many of you have met, Amira June. And she is so passionate about seeking new cultures and experiences to broaden our horizon. And tea and the world of healing has always been her passion. And for so many years, she carried this of creating a space that honors the tea traditions around the world. And I am so excited because today is the first day she's going to share that vision with the world. And I look up to you. So excited for you to share your vision and your heart. And also thank you. She's been helping us with our beautiful website, the Design Science Studio website. We can thank her beautiful self for helping make so beautiful, and also the incredible regenerative.city site. She put our little baby Amira in the hands mostly of Tyler for the last 10 days and built this crazy magical website for all of you to learn about the story of Regenera. So thank you for being such an incredible designer and sister and mother and friend. I love you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I love you. What you guys are doing here is unbelievable. And I'm just so grateful to be your sister and to know about this and to be a part of it all. It's really been a joy to be a part of this. And I can't wait to just continue on, and hopefully we all travel through the next 10 years together. Okay. So, okay, I'm so nervous. So here I go.
You're going to do great.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
Okay, do you see a full screen?
It's coming up. It's loading. We see a white screen so far.
Okay. Okay. This is Sano. It's my tea house bathhouse idea. I've had this dream for years. It came in vision, came just like straight to me from the universe, that I feel like this was my calling to do for now in life. And okay, I'm gonna just read my notes because I'm nervous. Called to create a special place for all people where the attention is on the self in the moment, so one may be more balanced and empowered in the world. Sano is a place of experience where your senses are heightened and you are transported from the monotony of today's world to another place where you are met with fantasy and joy in every detail. We are at a unique time in our social framework. We have collectively experienced something isolating and seismic as a society as we seek to reintegrate into community and connect with one another. After so much time apart, there is an immense purpose to offer something previously lacking, a place for casual or cosmic discussions of what inspires you or would perhaps affect the life of another, or just maybe change our world. We want to offer people new ways to socialize, which has a heavy emphasis on self-care and self-love magic. Sano, it means healthy, sound, wholesome in Spanish. Self-care is essential in our current climate. Our clients and guests are any and everyone who is in need of respite from the world. Sano is to rest, Sano is to rejuvenate, Sano is to re-energize, Sano is to restore. And being part of, this program, I learned what living systems means and all kinds of examples of them. And I realized that, the human body, we are a living system. So I want to tend to the living system of the human so that each human can go out and, be their full system in the bigger system. But there's a very big, rich culture and bathhouse history. They used to be big in our society. We lost touch, of course, due to outdated cleaning water services and cleaning water resource technology with the central holistic health practice as a social commonality. So here we have just some examples. Here we have some more examples of bathhouses throughout time and history. This is a bathhouse that was in San Francisco called Sutro Baths. It was huge. It was created in 1896 by the former mayor of San Francisco called Adolf Sutro. 2 rail lines took it there, took people there. there was 100 and I don't want to do something this big, but just so cool as an example, 1.8 million gallons of seawater. There were 10,000 people could fit in this bathhouse. So just to show it's, people really enjoy it. So here's a little, the history of tea. So just a little brief touch on it. Not a brief touch, just 1 second. In 1978, archaeologists surprisingly found tea relics in the Tianluo Mountains that were estimated to be 7,000 years old. So tea's been around for many cultures for thousands of years across the globe. Cultures have adopted tea and adapted them to their consumption and traditions and flavors. And tea has endured the test of time, but continues to remain relevant to modern consumer tastes. Among beverages in the market today, tea has been around for the longest. The drink also seen as offering exceptional health benefits without the aid of nutritional ingredients since tea is naturally brewed. We feel everyone can cherish the complexity of flavors, the calming, often meditative nature of tea drinking. There are many subtleties of tea: growing, processing, and aging. There are striking similarities between fine tea and wine. Just as wine varies depending on where and how and when the grapes are grown and processed, tea varies with elevation, leaf size, soil quality, origin, and age. So it's such a wonderful beverage, and I really am excited to share it with people. So we go into bathing and tea culture. Bathing and tea culture has been common social practice for thousands of years. In modern culture, I'm sorry, is my screen still okay?
Yeah, looks great.
Okay. In modern culture, the act was lost as a social element in most of the modernized West. We seek to revitalize and reinvigorate these ancient traditions, bringing them together and reintroduce them to a culture lacking in any similar offerings and scope of immediate impact on one's life and psychology. So where I am in Nashville lacks, these things, a proper tea house or bathhouse, no real international culturally rich options here to experience. Places to socialize that aren't bars, restaurants, venues, coffee shops, warm, inviting, intimate, private meeting spaces, non-judgmental place to foster personal growth and development and meet those seeking the same, and dedicated ritual spaces. There's nothing like that here so far. So Sano it's a tea house, a bathhouse, a spa, a ritual space, holistic wellness, an immersive space of experience, event and gathering space, and a platform for regenerative living and systems information. I know that sounds like a lot, but we're going to do it. So the tea house. These are just a few little facts, but tea in the United States is the third largest importer of tea. The consumption has increased significantly in the past years, and it's just going to keep going up. I'm just going to leave those little details there. If you want to read them later, you can. So this is the central Persian tea room. My dad is Persian, my mom is Colombian, and the tea drinking tradition for Persians is very relevant. Morning, noon, night, they're drinking tea. So we grew up with my dad, always having tea with his friends. And so as a young person, you're like, this is really boring. But as you get older, you understand it and how it brings people together and a place where you can have discussion and whatnot. So this is the Persian tea room. I have a lot of inspiration from it because I think it's just such a beautiful, the way they design and build with, sacred geometry. They use a lot of sacred geometry and natural building techniques. And my intention to bring this type of style is so people see it and they are in awe of it and realize that I think a lot of people still don't understand the rich cultural history of Iran and that part of the world. So I would like to bring that into this space so I could share that with people. So I'm going to have 5 tea rooms. Each one will have their own unique setting. We'll have a Zen room. We'll have a high tea room. I'll have a children's room, which I want it to be like a magical fairy place with mushroom toadstool, like little seats for them. Then I'll have like a more masculine or like a meeting room. So we'll have and these aren't like giant rooms. So, these will fit 10, 12, 15 people. So I know like, you're like, this is a huge project, but it can be smaller. So, so the immersive art experience, that'll be interchanging. So we'll just rotate those out. This one right here is a piece based on ocean plastics. So I'd like for a lot of them to be environmentally themed as much as possible. And then we'll have like little individual seating areas for people who want a moment to themselves. So this is just the types of teas I'm going to have, not just one of each. There'll be like 3, for the green, the white, the oolong, black. To like do those right, you need like 2 or 3 at least. So in order to taste the difference, so I can share with people the beauty of each of the uniqueness of the different options. We will have outdoor areas with art, a labyrinth you could do your meditative walks on. That will form the outdoor area will separate the tea house and bathhouse and form a buffer from the outside world, the different areas of experience, and will invite the guests to find contemplation and inspiration among the gardens and some featured arts. So I also want to have the art rotating out here. So I wanted a place to like showcase people that have art, like that have great immersive art experiences. I want to share people. I want to do it, share people's talents, and I want to do it through this space. So the bathhouse, although many cultures have had their own wellness traditions, almost all of them have this in common. People love to soak and sweat. All aim to promote self-care and good health through variations on soaks, steam, saunas, and community. Baths are good for the soul. The therapeutic waters ease the body and the mind, and they have been used for centuries as places of social gathering or healing around the world. Here's a little inspo of what we want it to look like. So more natural shapes and building practices. And we want all of it to be like sustainable regenerative building practices, of course. Okay, so our bathhouse services, whole body scrubs, massages, the circuits, the hot, warm, cold circuits, a mud bath. We will have ritual baths and small group baths, saunas and hammam, so an infrared, a wet sauna and a hammam, facials and CBD treatments. So hydrotherapy is an effective way to release tension in both the body and mind. It is an ancient therapy that's been practiced that dates back to thousands of years. So the cycle of hot, cold, relax is proven to both energize and rest the body, improves blood circulation, and activates the lymphatic system to help detox. It also actively promotes the release of endorphins. Saunas are properly used to detox the body through sweating, soothe sore muscles, and burn calories. Here are some of our communal areas we want to offer. So that's a chromotherapy room where we use color therapy. That laying down space is one where you can just like get lost and, experience, go into an wonderful art experience. And then just little outdoor areas. You guys, my computer says about to die. Hold on one sec.
This vision is so amazing. It's so incredible to see it all finally in one connected place where we can really sink into the full vision.
I'm sorry, you guys.
No apologies.
Okay. It was really hard to get like all the information down in slides. This was difficult for me. Okay, so we're gonna have so back to our ritual space. A ritual is a practice of reverence. It's acknowledging the sacredness of existence by creating practices that invite consciousness, care, connection, and depth. One of our intentions for sauna is to become a ritual space for those that it calls to do so. Tea for grounding, water for cleansing, sauna for balancing, a scrub for shedding all that doesn't serve you, and a moment in one of our spaces to just be still. So we're going to have ritual baths. So it's a single bath, and someone will guide you through your own ritual. You'll have your own personal intentions, you know, as you go into them. But we'll also offer sound bath, Reiki, lunar events that teach, inspire, and promote healing and sharing new ways of thinking and living. We'll have a meditation, like a little app that if you don't want to be on your phone, you can have like just an earbud, and you can go through and do your own meditations and your own ritual guidance. And I would like to feature people that like Ganga, like people that are so great at leading people through like these spaces and meditations. And maybe I could feature them on there, and then people can discover them that way, and then maybe go find and, you know, buy and download what all the others, you know, whatever else they're offering. So I want it to be a space where I can share.
Just a heads up, Miriam, we're just about at time.
Okay, I want to go fast.
No, it's okay. Vince, Becca is okay with us bleeding out a little bit because, or not bleeding out, just Louise, bleeding over a little bit. She said no problem.
I'll just go real quick. Here we go.
You don't have to rush, Miriam. You're okay.
Thanks,
Okay. So it's gonna be built using these practices, regenerative building practices, and a water system designed for recapturing, because of course this is a really water intensive business that I'm going to create. So we want to create a whole, I'll have to find some engineers to really help me do this, but a whole recapturing system of the water. You know, people get out of the bath, they recapture them with them, as well as using the rainwater to, you know, to water our gardens and whatnot. So we're definitely interested in that. And then we're going to do geophilia design. We integrate principles of sacred geometry and biogeometry to create the most harmonic and healing spaces and support the best way possible to health and the well-being of the user. Audio elements in the wall, music frequencies, and binaural soundscapes. That's all about sound healing, right? You won't even, your subconscious will pick it up. But a lot of that stuff you might not initially hear or feel it. We will do crystal grids. We will build with the crystal grids and have crystals throughout the property, because I believe in the power of crystals and how they interact with our vibration and help support us. Then we'll use regenerative building business practices and water elements throughout the property. Okay. So I loved this quotation. Never forget that you are one of a kind. Never forget that if there weren't any need for you at all in your uniqueness to be on this earth, you wouldn't be here in the first place. Never forget, no matter how overwhelming life's challenges and problems seem to be, that one person can make a difference in the world. In fact, it is always because of the one person that all the changes that matter in the world come about. So be that one person. So I am creating this place because I want to remind every person that this is true, and I want to nourish people's souls and help them connect within and with each other and with the earth. And yeah. So our secret weapon is water. Water is a magical element. We respect and acknowledge its structure. The studies of Dr. Emoto's experiments, we show that human consciousness and words can change the molecular composition of water. And then I'll let you guys read the rest of that later if you want, since I'm in a hurry. But all the water, we will have a water filter system that filters and transforms all the water on site to do the most important work, ushering all life into its proper form. And I will say that Gina is my water advisor, so I'm so grateful for that. I'm so happy to be working with her. So our marketing audience, you don't have to, you guys can look at that later, but Nashville is a really good spot for this. We are in the middle of, we are within 500 miles of one half of the nation's population. And there's really not much around us that is comparable, like close by. And a lot of people drive here to Nashville, so it's a pretty great spot for this. So here's how we're going to make money. We'll sell beverage and food services. We'll have a daily rate and memberships. We'll also have community days for people that can't afford our memberships or the daily rate. It'll be like a heavily discounted day, so anybody can come. And if people can't afford it, I will figure out a way for them to be there. It's not going to be super, super expensive anyway. I want to make everything accessible as much as possible. So I need people, I need initial investment so I can figure out like how much this stuff is actually going to cost me. And then I'm looking for some board of advisors, and I want some collaborators. Anybody who feels the call to come and help do this vision, I welcome it. I'm really excited about putting this into the world. So this is how we'll impact the world. I'm not going to go through it because I know I'm over time, but I think that it's going to be great. So that's the end. Thank you. Thank you for letting me present this, and thank you for everything you guys are doing. And if you guys have any idea or any advice or any suggestions, please send them my way. I would be delighted to connect.
Can you all unmute yourselves and share your love for sharing her for the first time ever on the Vision Train? Woohoo!
Amazing, Miriam.
Love it.
My heart's
Beautiful.
beating 1,000.
I love your
Thank
vision.
you. Awesome. Wonderful.
Woo, way to go. Yes.
I want to go.
I am here.
Oh, that was incredible.
Lovely.
Thanks.
What do you think, Nico? I've been trying to explain this to Nico. I'm like, Nico, you don't understand. Such an incredible vision. We have to do this.
I'm so excited. And you and I have probably the same dreams, Mariam. I like it.
There's so many little details I want to share, but it's like so hard to put that in like this kind of deck. I'm not good at deck building, but
I'm obsessed with bathhouses.
You had me sold on bathhouses and tea. That was it. I mean, everything else was how. But what we were gonna do was quite clear from the very beginning.
That was so beautiful, Miriam. Thank you.
Thanks.
For sharing your vision. And now it will become reality.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that we've shared with the students, we've actually dedicated 2 entire classes to it, is ontological design, which is this idea that spaces architect the mind, and everything that we design outwards designs as inwards as well. And I think bathhouses and tea houses are probably the epitome of this concept, of this idea of creating magical spaces that transform how you feel inside and how you think. And like, we need way more of that in our society, definitely. Many cultures have this.
Miriam, will you reshare the last slide? There's a bunch of people asking in the chat.
Which one?
The one that says your name and your email.
Oh, yeah.
Get in touch with you. I think it's just like a little screenshot moment. Friend Robert Hayes. Go. Check.
You can also visit the tea house and the bathhouse in Regeneissance. She has 2 lovely structures built for her in Natura that you can go and hang out. And there is we also built in the village. There's also another tea house and a little spa that you can go and hang out and like be there with your little towel.
Yes. So wonderful. And we have the most, what an incredible crew. Miriam, I love you. I love you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, Vision Train. Look at that. More visions coming through. And now we get to what? Talk about
talking about visions. Wow. Okay, I don't know where to start, Tony. You're so much that is difficult to just put a pin to just one of the things. I'm gonna say this. We invited Tony to come over, and it was like, I don't know if it was like maybe the 2nd week or the 3rd week, and he took over our entire cohort and took them into a journey, and they were all like, it was like a roller coaster. You could tell, like, for 2 hours they were all like, "Wah! Wah!" and then it finished, and it was like, let's do more of that. So we ended up doing 3 more classes, well, I'm gonna try to summarize it. Tony is a world builder. I think that would be a good There's two words to summarize what he does. And what he does is he builds worlds. He imagines possible worlds. He future casts. He backcasts them. That's something that we do at the studio a lot, that we have learned from him. It's like you imagine first a future that is possible, and you start building all the details, everything that you want that future to be. And then the important exercise is to go back to where you are today and see how you can bring about that vision. What are the necessary steps that you're going to need to do step by step to get to where you're dreaming about? And, you know, our entire studio is about this. It's about just imagining potential futures that are better than what we have currently and figuring out a way to get there. And you have been such a fundamental pillar of everything that is happening today. Like, I don't know if you have time to visit the entire world that we built, the Regenera, the floating city. I'm gonna send you the links later, but like, we are building an entire virtual city for people to hang out and imagine what, you know, the Regenaissance is gonna bring, and how we're gonna change the world through imagining better futures. I'm so excited to have you here, Tony, and so thankful for you know, all your creativity and your work. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna show them some of the magic you have done in the past as well, which is like,
Can I also say that a lot of the fundamental principles of our world were forged from the cauldron of the collective sessions that happened with this brilliant human right here.
So sorry, but I'm going to barge in too, because you all know that beaming would not exist if it weren't for Tony. Because during our session, you drew out this thing, this BAM thing, which we added the E in, and it became beaming. The Backcasting Alliance mediums. Thank you, Tony.
Thank all of you. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Roxy. Thanks, Nico. Now I'm beaming. I'm smiling. I really appreciate being back in this community. And I also appreciate the theme song, Jurgis. I think I might have to use that in different sessions. But lovely to see everybody. And I think I had something else planned. I was going to share some of my past work, and I think you can see some of that on a LinkedIn and on different bios. So what I decided to do today is to well, I want to share a dedication, if you guys are okay with that. I'm going to read something, a dedication from the Litchfield Wellness Center in 1975, shared by Donald Litchfield. And I'm just going to read it. So it's going to sound like it's a few minutes, but I'll try to animate it. Bitter, broken. You would have met me years ago, I would have ripped your head off for asking how I was doing. Hell, you walked on my land in the middle of the night without fair warning, and I caught you. I would have grabbed my shotgun off the mantelpiece and aimed it at your head. See, that's how I was taught. You get them or they get you. They was anybody else who didn't look like you, sound like you, think like you, live like you. Different was a threat. Different was the enemy. Same, put your mind at ease. My father was a mean man, disconnected, didn't have time for me and my sister, drank a lot, hit my mother, who did most of the work anyway, and supported him with cleaning jobs by being a maid, which was hard for her at the time because she was white. And at that time, most of the Black women in our town had it as their trade. So my mother, who had it bad, would come home, Black this, Black that. And I'm using the polite versions of those words because she couldn't get a job, and my father would sit there and drink until he got tired of hearing her complain, and the beatings would start. And me and my sister would hide under the bed until it boiled over 3 hours later. One day, I finally got the courage to ask my mother why she let Dad beat her. And she said, that's what love is anyway, a beating, and the vicious cycle of forgiving that beating until you get beat again. You're going to be a man someday, she said to me. So it won't be a woman beating you. It'll be life filled with people ready to kick your heart and soul in. So don't trust anyone, Junior. It just ain't worth it. Wasn't long after that, my mother packed us up and we moved in with my grandmother, who was meaner than anyone I had ever met. 2 years later, my father died, drunk, wobbling along the railroad tracks, and was robbed. They never found out who did it. Probably the blacks, my mother said. The only friend I had beside my sister Lulu was this dog, Chewy, German Shepherd, beautiful coat, shined like the stars. Any free time I had that when I wasn't in school was spent with that dog. Big smile, played fetch. We would eat and run together. That dog would come and lay its paws on me when he knew I was sad, which was a lot. I believe that animals have souls, personalities, lives. I love that dog. And up until that point, that dog was the only thing in my life that had ever shown me love at all. So I was heartbroken when Chewy was snatched away from me by my grandmother and sold to a guy looking for German Shepherds. They wanted to train some dogs, looking for a certain breed. My grandmother was a greedy woman, so Chewy, I came home and he was gone. Don't trust anybody. Huh, my mother was right, including the family. I was 12 when the riots happened, and I remember the fire and the noise and the shattering of glass. Those are sounds you don't forget. But then when I saw these people running for their lives and other people destroying things, the anger and the police, and I saw this woman fall and a baton struck her and she crumpled like a piece of paper and folded. And see, the amazing thing was, due to my parents, due to my conditioning at that point, I didn't have any sympathy or empathy at all for the Black community. None. I kind of laughed to myself, well, that's what they get when the police barreled down on them. But it was on the second day that I saw a police officer chase after a boy about my age and then let his dog loose on him. And that dog sank his teeth into the boy's leg, and I realized that dog was Chewy. Chewy. They turned that dog that liked to chew on sticks into a killing machine. I called his name and he turned and snarled at me like I was trying to kill him. He didn't know me anymore. I ran all the way home, past the rioters, back home, got smacked for even being outside during that time, went to bed devastated, and I didn't speak for months. They tried to beat the words out of me, bribe the words out of me. I resisted. 6 months. And when I did finally speak, I let out an anger that trumped theirs. I stole, I fought, I kicked, I did everything on God's green earth to hurt everyone around me, but mostly myself. All this up until I was 30. And I had a first wife who was broken as I was. And then when she cheated on me at the local bar where we spent most of our marriage, I tried to harm the man who she said was better than me in every way with my bare hands. He hit me with a chair and his fists and his boots. And I woke up in the hospital in pieces with things that had to be stitched together and healed and put back in place. And it was there my sister found me after not speaking to me for years. And she said, Junior, enough. She tried to talk sense into me, tried to help me, and even told me my mother's biggest secret, our mother's biggest secret. My mother was half Black and was passing the whole time. Can you imagine that? All those years? Well, my first reaction was, I cursed out my sister so badly, she left the room in tears. And then I went silent again for days. But when no one came to visit me after a week or 2 weeks, I started to realize that I had become the dog. I was chewing up other people because I had already eaten up most of my insides. And the nurse that overheard my conversation between me and my sister said to me, she loves you. And I said, love is a beating and a vicious cycle that, and she stopped me right there and said, no, I'm gonna stop you. Love ain't a beating, it ain't a cycle. It's an energy. It's an energy field that everything is made out of. And either you're stepping into it or you're stepping out of it. And it's all your choice. And you can be afraid of it and force it away or embrace it like it's air. Because the truth is, it's everywhere. Absolutely everywhere, even in you. And I didn't say much after that until after I was discharged from the hospital. But I went back up there and I begged that nurse to have dinner with me. And she said, you got to stop drinking first. And so then after I stopped drinking, she said, well, you'll have to surround yourself with loving people and learn how to make friends. And then after I did that, she said, well, I guess I can marry you now. And we've been married for 30 years. So if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be sober and peaceful and considerate. And we never would have started the Litchfield Wellness Center for people who can't find themselves or be able to stand up for what's right. So we dedicate the center to you today so that you never have to stay broken and bitter. Okay, so that's a piece. So I want to share 3 important items from that dedication. Number 1, Donald and June Litchfield started the Litchfield Wellness Center in 1975. 2, the Litchfield Wellness Centers proliferated throughout the Midwest and the East Coast for 30 years after their initial launch. 3, Donald and June Litchfield and the Litchfield Wellness Center are completely and utterly fictional. So that is a piece that is a speculative past that I wrote. I read this from time to time to start off sessions. And so it is another version, another vision, another technique that I decided to share with you guys today of how we can enter another reality simply through story, and how we can create, in this case, wellness centers, something that I'd love to see exist today. And they do exist in some forms. I'm currently working on trying to create a renewal center. That's my aim. So with Miriam and, the bath houses, tea houses, I'm like, yo, I know Nico has a space in mind as well. And Regenera is the world that we're standing in now. And so if we look at that piece, what we did and what I played around with was like, I picked an inflection point. And that inflection point, if we want to get technical about it, was the Controlled Substances Act. And so I imagined a world where instead of the Controlled Substances Act, what if drug use wasn't criminalized, and that didn't lead to the prison industrial complex that we have today, and people aren't criminalized around drug abuse? What if instead it was seen as a health issue, right? And there are centers and spaces that are there designated for healing, right? And so what if that proliferated throughout time? Then we might have that Litchfield Wellness Center. So I just wanted to share a little bit of my art with you. And I just wanted to thank you for always inviting me into this space and allowing me to build with you. And I just am really in awe of the creativity, the social impact, and the love that I feel in this space, and always the music. Sorry, I gotta talk about the magic of the music in this space, because that's also transcendental. And so always down to build with everyone. And I want to apologize to a few people for being MIA. I know some people have emailed me, and I have been insane up here in the virtual world and in Rochester, but I hope to connect with a lot of you. Please feel free to try to reconnect with me. We'll work out some office hours, even though I know this is over. There it is. I knew someone would share it. Here we go, Regenera, headed towards the Regeneissance, 10 years. And this is all the work that you guys did and kind of unearthed together between the values, the aspirations, rites, rituals, speculative technologies. I'm gonna wait for the camera to pan. And just a beautiful, beautiful. Can we go down to the timeline? Because that's where the magic is. And so you can see where you fit.
Like, come on.
Oh no, I know, it's crazy. It's great. So like the timeline alone is magical. You see where you fit in this ecosystem and where your projects are and how they can emerge throughout a decade. I have a feeling we're going to see the iteration of these projects, and we'll be standing physically in Regenera in some form in 2030. So, as always, thank you. Honored to be here. Looking forward to building with you again in the future. And on that, I will do my favorite thing and mute myself. And in about a minute, I will then turn my camera off.
Wait, don't go.
Much love to all of you.
Don't go, don't go. Wait,
Wait, don't go. Okay.
Don't go, wait. You hear me? My mic on?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Turn it
Yeah.
up a little bit.
Listen, there's two things I find very compelling about this whole thing, and you're one of the people I have not had the opportunity to really interact. But one of the things that I find very beautiful, and at least which touched me, is when I see a person who says they do like what I do, but completely different. Like when you say you're building worlds, you're healing spaces and stuff like that. It's like, hey, dude, that's what I do. But I think it's really beautiful that we find people in this group which also describe themselves as doing the same thing, but they have completely different tools and approaches. And it informs our approaches. It's like there's like information flowing laterally, vertically, in very and even in quantum ways, because you'll say something which completely shifts my attention towards my craft and what I do. And I think that has been the true magic. And the second thing I found really beautiful and really inspirational is the way that you speak in your voice, man. I would love to do a track with you, and I would like to have a song where you were speaking the way you speak, because there were moments when you were going through that story where like the few hairs I have here, it went like this, you know? And that's a really good sign. It's really great. It's really, you have that kind of sense of urgency in your voice, which is absolutely compelling. And so I'm really looking forward to doing more things in the future. Thank you for that.
Absolutely, Jurgis. Reach out. You know, music is, I'm going to say, yeah, absolutely. I would love that. And you were giving me an excuse to dive back into music, which to me is one of the biggest gifts that humanity has in its toolkit for transformation. So always. And the crazy thing is also, I will admit, there are times where I can feel that vibration of resonance and wonder and like sheer awe when it comes to hearing, like when I sit, like I'm telling you, when I did this world building session with everyone, the sheer brilliance coming out of everyone else's mouths like shook me from time to time, because I'm like, oh my God, oh wow. So wait, how do I got to bring that back in. I have to, you know, it's like, it was a true job of holding space and facilitation, because there are so many forward thinkers, and this is not blowing smoke. I mean, like you talk about that spectrum, and I think that is the magic of this, is that we don't just have, this isn't a silo. This is the spectrum. You know, so everyone has a place at this table and is able to express themselves in a way that is just incredibly valuable, no matter who you are. And that's not, you know, they say this in other spaces, and it's, you know, it's smoke, or someone's angling, or someone's trying to promote something, but that's not what this is. Like I'm always thrown by that in a beautiful way. So it's like, again, when I say, you know, because I know some people think I'm like BSing when I say happy to be here, honored to be here, but I'm serious, because the alternative could be very dismal. So, and when you get that laugh from me, that's the knowing acknowledgement laugh.
I know that laugh.
Tony, you know it, right? We all have it, right?
That laugh is when you either know you're crazy, or when you realize that you're not crazy. You're like, oh, we're all crazy together, and you feel you're home. Welcome home,
That's
brother.
the
I
thing.
feel exactly.
Absolutely. That is the beauty. And I think that is the true mark of a safe space, or a place that is in alignment. You immediately recognize you're not crazy. Or the kind of crazy you are is definitely appreciated by your tribe.
Exactly.
So I'll take it either way. So anyway, Thank
Now
you.
we have-
Thank you, guys.
Now we
Talk
have
to you
to
soon,
introduce
Jargus. Absolutely.
More crazies.
More-
More crazies into
To
the
more crazy, to more crazy, to more expansive pools of crazy. I'm down.
Thank you, Tony.
Guys, love all of you. Thank you.
So generous with has been so generous with your time and support for the studio and this vision. We love you so much. Got this together. Okay, Nico, you get to introduce one of our amazing superheroes.
This makes me also feels my heart. I was going through your profile, Dan, and I remember a moment when we were going through the 370 something applications. There was one line that Dan wrote into the application that immediately melted my heart, and he wrote something like, "Not sure how I fit in, but eager to participate." And upon seeing all his beautiful magical creations that you can see some of them behind him, I knew that he needed to be in and definitely participate. Dan it's one of our elders at the cohort, and it's been really amazing. He's been showing up every week consistently bringing in his wisdom. He's the creator and curator of the Octa Tetra Museum in San Antonio, and he's gonna explain to you a little bit more about Octa Tetra things, because he's also building the Octa Tetra city. So Dan, it's my honor to leave you the stage and for you to share some with us.
Oh, thank you. Well, first of all, for Tony really got me, because it didn't occur to me, didn't see it coming that place, the Litchfield place, was fictional. Oh my God. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click over here and put in the chat. I have to press enter. Where's enter? There it is. Okay, those are 4 links. Don't click on any of them now. Just copy that whole thing so you can go there later. The next thing I'm going to do is share screen. And we're going to do that, and we're going to do that. Okay, now I see the 3 of you on the side there. Anyway, we're at a YouTube playlist, and there's 21 videos that make up my story. I'm going to play the first one and read it to you. My project is STEM to STEAM through 3D geometry. Okay, STEM for educators means science, technology, engineering, and math. But they soon discovered that something was missing, and that thing that was missing was arts. And if you put art in there, you get STEAM. And you put it in there because we want to encourage students to cultivate their creativity by doing things that require imagination. And that in turn will make them to be innovators for being the designers and engineers and architects of the future. As Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. The Octa Tetra Museum is a real venue in San Antonio, Texas, USA. There I do presentations and activities with kids 8 to 88 years old. It extends to displays and activities at other places, local and far-flung. There is also a curriculum that parents and teachers can use so that I do not have to be there in person or even virtually. Oh boy, taking a while. Come on. There's a series of large geometric sculptures or models called Octa Tetra City. They're all variations on Bucky Fuller's octet truss. They are on exhibit in a variety of places from San Antonio to Little Falls, New York, to be yet determined. Where is it? Oh my God. Finally, for almost 2 years, as a part of Octotetracity, I've been working on the Kepler Ring of Pentagons monument, a walk-intuable structure that needs an interior space about 30 feet by 30 feet. I would like to donate this model to a space to be yet determined. I hope to have it completed during the summer of 2020. One more on here. In this picture, it's only just getting started. This Kepler monument is the specific project that I am doing for this Einstein Studio launch, but I wanted you to see it in context and to know the backstory. So then I move over here and we have several videos. That's a tour, but there's no people in that. But I'm all about the kids. So I wanted you to see what happens when there's kids there. I always say the magic doesn't happen unless the kids are there. So here was a day when actually five homeschool families and making model moments. So I had already done my show for them. I call it a show instead of a presentation because I believe that teaching is a performative art, a performance art. So this goes on and on. They made the models, but I'm going to go on to the next one. This is what it's like when I do an event in another place. This was the Core 4 STEM Expo. It took place at San Antonio College. I set up a display. This little gadget is called the Strand Beast, and it's by a guy named Theo Janssen. So I set up the display, but the kids were also making models. Just click on a few moments. And the next one is at the Southwest School of Art. I had a group of 10 kids, Monday through Friday, 9 to 12. And then they would also take stuff home and work on it. And I had them Monday through Friday. They made all this stuff. I had a display, I had the pieces, they could choose the models they wanted to make and just go to it. Most of them made 2, 3, 4 models in the time. That one's made out of octahedra. That's called curved fold origami, curved fold papercraft. And on and on and on. And I will go a little bit down the other side. And this is kids 11 to 14. From 10 to 14 or so is my favorite age because I believe that they're old enough to learn anything that you want to teach them. There's nothing they can't learn if you teach it right, yet they're young enough to experience great wonderment. So this next one here that I'm not going to play, unfortunately, I have to move this so I can scroll down because you guys are there on the side. This one is called Oh, How I Miss the Kids. It's pictures of the kids during the last week, March 13th of last year, the last time that I was able to do anything in person with kids. So it's got that. It's also got the Voices of Hope Children's Choir singing We Are the World and Heal the World. The next one, I will at least click on it. Hopefully it'll come up. Move over a little bit. What happened? I clicked on something. Oh my goodness, what's that? Oh my.
Oh no, we lost him. Oh, gosh, y'all, I really appreciate all the generations up in here bringing their magic. It's so incredible.
He was clearly teleported into another dimension.
Clearly teleported, clearly. Well, he's been at this forever. Every single one of our sessions, he's like building. And we have watched that thing expand and expand and expand.
Hey, you know, it's the first time I saw Dan smile, because I usually, when I see him when I do my thing, he's got the camera like this and he's kind of like moving or something. But it's the first time I really got the beauty of his human form, you know, straight on.
You see how he smiled the most when he was talking about the children? Did you notice that?
His heart's in the right place. The guy's heart's in the right place.
He's like, oh, y'all are fine, but like the 10 to 15-year-olds, they're what's up. What were you like when you were 10 to 15?
What was I like when I was 10 to 15?
Yeah.
Better than my children, I'll tell you that. No. Jeez, that was a Freudian slip of the highest order. Worse than my children is what I was going to say. Oh, my goodness.
I'm gonna
Okay, Roxy.
while Dan comes back, I'm gonna spotlight someone who needs to turn on their camera. Damien. Turn on your camera. Yeah, Damien. All right, y'all. I need you to rally for
Wow.
to unmute yourself.
Damien.
Positive energetically charged jazz hands for Damien. 1, 2, 3.
Woo! This is a
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Thank you.
One more time. I need you to unmute your microphones and share all of your love and joy and celebration to this badass human who worked so hard and built presents in time just for all of you.
You are amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're really great.
Thank you.
So
You guys
amazing.
are great.
Thank you.
Jazz hands. Yay!
Fantastic, Damien.
I tried to get Damien to like talk about the future of experience design or a million other things. And he was like, beep, boop, boop. You're busy making sure all your stuff works.
Yeah.
So now,
Keeping the thing going on the back end.
come on, just share a few little nuggets of Damien love with us just for a moment.
Do you have any problem?
Yeah. Why did you make presents? Why did you create presents?
Why did I create presents? I created presents because I believe fundamentally that all what humans need is connection, and I think a lot of our society is designed and constructed in such a way that constantly pulls us out of connection and makes it very challenging. I feel like a lot of the challenges we face in society, whether it's on a individual, cultural, social, economic level, all stems from the fact that we're disconnected. And so I wanted to create something that will contribute to the conversation and be part of the solution, which is to empower creators of experiences to be more efficient, to be better organized, so that they can create more spaces for authentic human connection to occur. And so I look at it as scaling human connection. And in order to do that, it's an operations challenge, as you all can tell from this week. And so how do we make that easier? How do we make it more efficient? And how do we make it regenerative for the creators? And so I'm looking at building the tools for that with Presence. And I call it Presence because Presence is the emotional bass note for all experiences. So
Am I back? Am I back?
yes, Dan, you're back.
Oh my God, what a nightmare. And here I am talking, showing, and you lost everything, right? You didn't see
Well,
the.
we saw so much, and in your absence, we got to give Damien a love shout.
Guys, I have a public service announcement.
Public service announcement.
This is advice from me to you. Like all these people that you see here around, they're my friends, and I'm so proud. And so the public service announcement is find dope humans and just become their friends. They will make your life incredible. They will inspire you every day. They will just make your work shine. Just find friends that are doing dope stuff. It's amazing.
I think that we have done this.
Boom, boom, boom. It's good
And
service
oh, we have a visitor from the future. All right. Damien, would you like to say anything else about scaling human connection or presence or anything? No? Okay, well, what I would like to tell everyone is that there were almost 200 events that we hosted as a part of Regenera Rising that all of the creators had in their hands to list on their own, because otherwise we would have broken probably in half. We had to organize, list, and update all of your events all of the time. But because we put the power in your hands because of Damien, that was possible. So thank you.
200. That's amazing. It's amazing, everyone. Great job.
And with that, Dan, we will let you complete your mission. Damien, we love you. Amira, for you, we do all of this.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Clearly a message from the future.
Can you see it?
Dan, we just see a sliver of your screen, but if you make it full screen, you're perfect. We got you. We're back.
Okay, so I was telling you about Little Falls. I'm blown away. Okay, so this was my display there. 3 of my models from Octatetra City in an old 19th century building right by the railroad tracks where the trains go by every 15 minutes and make train noises every day for 2 weeks. So that was for Amanda. Okay, so. All right, now I have to move this over because you guys are in my way. What happened now? I'm having so much.
We can see your screen, and that's great. We're in it, Dan.
All right, I'm trying to get. What happens if I change the view? You guys are blocked being able to. Being able to scroll down.
Dan, is maybe you can send this to Vince, and Vince can help you. And we can maybe transition if the screen is being a little weird, or you could just tell us with your words, because we've gotten to see a lot of great.
Here we go. We're almost there. Okay. So I wanted to show you the project that I'm working on. And that's down here. See, you guys were in my way. I couldn't get to scroll. All right, here's the beginning of the Kepler Ring of Pentagons monument back in. I'll move it over. You can see it a little better. This, I said it was 40% of it. It's really about 20% of it. I didn't count right. But this is a little walk around. It's all octatetra truss. We will go along a little further around the other side because I don't want to play the whole thing. It takes too long. We've walked around it. And then there's a few pieces. I didn't know how much I had built, so I had a few pieces that didn't quite fit in. They're on these chairs here. And then we'll take a look. We're inside the central circle. It's a circle. It's a big decagon surrounded by 10 pentagonal rings. And there comes my grandson, who is 16 feet across. And we can see the floor plan coming up. And there's the main floor plan. I hope to make that a carpet underneath it all. And then you can see that you get to walk in this little 5-foot room and you get to hang out in there, and Mojo DeVille can dance in there. She said she wants to dance in there. Then you go out the other side. So, and I can stop share. Stop share. Did it stop? Close this. Oh, it's really hard to know what one is doing.
You're doing great. Stop your share for you.
I don't want to show you this. I want to stop share.
We have broken the edges of the internet, my friend.
All right, so there's.
Bum, 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 bum. Well, Jurgis?
So Jurgis is having a bit of an issue with his computer.
Well, you know what? I think that we have broken the internet.
You know what? I think the only thing I can do is leave.
Oh, I got you, Dan. I'm pulling your sharing off right now.
And Damien, problem. Damien says, thank everyone for their patience and feedback. If anyone has other feedback, he has his email in the chat, so definitely reach out. Thank you for creating this amazing tool. And bam. All right, y'all. That was a journey into Dan's brain. What do you think? Can you imagine building every single one of those structures by hand? Whew. Steven, what do you think? Oh my God, you have a little. You sprouted too.
I sprouted. Yeah. I can do it. I can try to be like.
Yeah, what is your inner? Very good. Okay, perfect. No, don't stop. Stop. Keep intro partner in crime. Come on, embody your inner Jurgis. I will. Vincent is visionary, flying through life from the viewpoint of the eagle. Inspired by love, hope, faith, and charity, his foundation is anchored in the land, family, and our various traditional ceremonial practices. The focus for his earthly contribution is to serve and co-create happiness. Vincent is a core member of the studio, as all of them are, and has brought very uniquely, don't stop, Stephen, what in the world? Right, fine. And has brought so much care and translation of his dedication for bringing forth Indigenous practices into and supporting those Indigenous communities into this studio container. Vincent, you're an artist, you're a friend, you are an inspiration, and you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone doing artwork. It's a real really appreciate it. It's a real gift that you're giving us all, and may your hands be blessed. I'm really excited to bring all these different threads together today and try to weave something together with you all as we kind of go through the adventure of the progression of my idea or my thought or my sort of vision to start with the design science studio and where we are at today. So I'm going to share my screen. Yeah. Okay. So Cedar and Gold and the Design Science Studio is the union that we are celebrating at this point. Cedar and Gold is, just gonna move that like this. I'm having the same problem as Dan. You guys are in the way. Cedar and Gold is an indigenous.
Whatever you just did made it go away. I think you you separate.
Oh, I got it.
So reshare it so that it's in the right place.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I did it almost.
I think you have to.
I'll stop your screen from sharing and then start sharing again and just find the presentation.
I got it. So, pardon me. I don't know if I can move you guys without. Can I shrink it? Perfect. There you go. Founded in 2014, so 7-8 years ago, and that's important. By my wife Jessica Starwoman and myself, we wanted to share our journey and our path of learning about and connecting with creation, furthering our connections with all living things and maybe even beyond. Our movement has provided spaces for culturally grounded, trauma-informed ceremonies and workshops. So I was giving context to Cedar and Gold, and now I'll give context to my original idea, which was the wheel. It is the wheel, and the wheel is a reimagining of the creative process coming from a place of love, support, while equal development of spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental health and wellness is achieved. So an example of the wheel in process is that I broke down the art process into setting a concept, designing, producing, and then presenting. And these 4 separate focuses are exemplified by this radical intention setting. I had performed a 48-hour immersive, deep immersion into my vision for an artwork. I had gone to witness a sunrise very early in the morning, which is the background you're seeing behind me. I had submerged my body in the frozen ocean here in the West Coast, the northern West Coast. And I had done a series of practices to really dive deep into setting my intention for my art project. So hence radical. Oh, this is actually a fairly, I don't know if it's working. It's a video of that submersion. So the wheel has for goal to provide the guidance. Cedar and Gold, the organization, is the craft. It's the ship. It's the carrier. Regenera is the propulsion system. It is the energetic source. It is what will take the ship forward with that guidance, that sacred ancestral guidance. How we express this union between Cedar and Gold Design Science Studio has critical components in all aspects. I'll give examples in a second. It's always going to be land-based with the ceremonial component. We're always going to engage elders and knowledge keepers. To that effect, I thank Miriam for bringing that young one into our space. They say no ceremony is complete unless we have a young one and an older one. So thank you for completing that. And finally, language revitalization. And I've really come to realize over the last few days that we are ourselves heavily engaged in active language revitalization. I've looked at the English language as being limiting and incomplete and unsatisfactory, and using it primarily that's conflictual, and finding the creation excuse me, and the elaboration of new lexicons and new words to populate our minds really provides the same or some of the similar benefits that indigenous language revitalization activates ancestral DNA sequences, providing the highest life enjoyment, which is the goal is to regenerate to a higher state of health and wellness. So how this expresses itself concretely, we currently are hosting the First Nations Women Yoga Initiative, which is an 80-hour training to prepare Kwakwaka'wakw women, non-binary, trans, and two-spirit people to practice and offer culturally rooted yoga programs in their communities. So this is a teacher training that's culturally adapted for Kwakwaka'wakw, but they actually have a very diverse set of facilitators from session to session. They had an Indian kirpan singer, professional chant singer, and but they always have that presence of a Kwakwaka'wakw elder, knowledge speaker, a knowledge keeper, and a language speaker, so that they can bring themes to their various components of their educative curriculum and to flavor them and to anchor them within ancestral teachings and concepts and notions, but in order to experience them in the present, in order to benefit and to literally visualize future with those concepts in mind in a modern practice. On my side, following the same exact framework, but expressed through artwork, I do community youth empowerment murals. This was day one of a mural we produced with several Indigenous youth last year. Our next event, this is so exciting. Our next event is next month on the 26th of April here in Alert Bay, British Columbia in the Namgis First Nation. We are going to be hosting the Nations Skate Youth Organization, which is an Indigenous skateboard nonprofit led by Joe Buffalo. And so Joe Buffalo is my partner for this event. I happened to design Joe's skateboard a few years ago, and Joe won the best short documentary at South by Southwest this week, and we're getting an avalanche of acknowledgements and accolades, and it's really incredible. So we hope to use this momentum and to really promote the salon and promote any projects that have cross relating aspects. And in closing, I'd like to give context to what I mentioned earlier in terms of Cedar and Gold being 8-9 years old. I'd like to say that we're reinventing a new future, and we're letting go of obsolete paradigms and structures. And I'd like to say that we never registered a nonprofit. We were never held to the stringent oversight and the corporate structure that has been detrimental to many levels in our society. And we were able to work completely legally as individuals for the few times if we get payment for projects, but we're always Cedar and Gold. We're always Sundancers, and we're always design science studio people. And that's important because outside of a professional project, of a professional relationship, usually financially involved, we should continue to be what we are and to do what we say and keep being artists in every way, and keep flavoring that artistry with the values that we've cultivated in this session. So we had a horrible tragedy come to, you could say, completion today. And I spent last night in this big house singing songs and keeping a sacred fire as the search and rescue people were finalizing their search for a young girl from here. And this was my way, you know, to be that design science studio member, that responsible member that had to step up and lose a night of sleep to go keep that fire going so that the sacred protection would be provided, and other important things that I don't need to get into. But if I can leave with a call to action, is to become your project, be your project, and infuse everything that you feel about your project into your being, so that it's not necessarily a transactional relationship or involvement. And I think I'll say that much. I'd like to thank everyone for giving me the space to express myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent. So powerful. Thank you for holding and tending to the sacred fire, for praying with your community. We send our love to your community. And thank you for being such an important part of ours, and for coming and sharing your vision. It's beautiful to see how far it's come, and that invitation to be our project, to embody that which we see in the world. So important. Let us know how we can continue to support you, and we'll just continue to weave and weave. Vincent was sharing with me earlier that he and his wife, I want to remember her name because I feel like she is of my family, and I don't remember her name of her. Tell me her name again. Vincent, you're muted.
I don't know. The young girl, her body was recovered this morning. And,
oh, I was talking about your wife, but also I'm
okay. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. You can hold
my wife is Jessica Latutula, Star Woman Tutuka, and she is gonna be so like delicious to the design science in future iterances. I promise. She's like the, yeah. Good. You guys are gonna love her.
I can't wait to meet her, and thank you for shepherding this vision and for sharing with us its transformation. And we're also just so honored to have you supporting us in the ceremony today, multiple ceremonies today. So with that, we will, I'll hand the mic over to Nico for introducing Brandy. And thank you, Vincent. Your work is so powerful and important. We love you.
Love you, Jens. Thank you. Cool. So keep moving and introducing you to our next performer guest, Brandy. She joined us in a side program that we put together in partnership with UC Irvine called the Living Systems Collaboratory, where we invited some of our revolutionaries from the Design Science Studio and some UCI Irvine students to come on board and start thinking in living systems and living systems philosophy, which for those of you who might be unfamiliar with the term, very summarized, and I'm not really being just putting out there the full spectrum of what it is, but like basically this idea that everything is a living system, and that we are a living system composed of many living parts that are self-organizing in these beautiful, incredible machines that we are, and that we as well are part of a broader living system that is the universe and Earth. And I always have fun with this idea of, every time we ask ourselves these profound philosophical visions about, who created life in the universe? Is there a God and life out there? I imagine the same conversation being held by like two micro organisms in our skin that are completely unaware they're living in this like giant thing, and thinking themselves too, like, do you think there's something out there? And yeah, there is a Nico. Yeah. So anyway, Living Systems Collaboratory, Brandy has been an incredible student. She's been working super hard. I'm gonna read a little bit where she comes from, because I think it's super, super fascinating. She's a cum laude alumna of Smith College, and she received her formal dance training as a scholarship student of Jones Haywood School of Ballet and Dance Theater of Harlem and the Alley School. And she was a featured dancer in Disney's blockbuster, The Lion King, if you didn't know. And she's about to complete her MFA degree at the University of California. That's how she ended up learning about the program. And I'm truly fascinated to hear from her, apart from her incredible project, also how how living systems have influenced what she does, because this is mostly like you can tell it like a technical, more philosophical realm. And when you mix it with dance and like the physical space, I think a lot of like magic is created. So I'm really eager to hear what your journey has been and to hear about your project, Brenda. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Nico, for the very, very warm introduction. And thank you for this opportunity to share about my project. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. Okay, how is that?
Looking great.
Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to take it away. So hello, everyone. I am going to talk a little bit about a choreographic idea that I have for a piece that was born out of inspiration from the living systems philosophy, which Nico was describing a little bit ago. When I received my acceptance letter to the UC Irvine MFA dance program last February, I was hobbling around on crutches, unable to use my left leg after tearing my meniscus in 2 places during a performance. My doctor initiated the healing process with a platelet-rich plasma, or PRP, injection. The way he explained the treatment to me was by injecting my knee with my own blood cells, it would signal to my body that I was newly injured, resulting in a rush of new blood cells, and importantly, new meniscus tissue growth in the affected area. At the time, I couldn't walk, let alone dance. So I consider it a modern medicine miracle that 8 months later, I was standing in 5th position at the ballet bar in the Claire Trevor Dance Studios. I think maybe we have someone who isn't muted. I'm gonna keep going though. Also, more tragically, I recently suffered the loss of my Aunt Jackie, my mother's sister. Aunt Jackie was a pillar of the family, and her funeral in January of 2020 was a difficult way to kick off the year. Aunt Jackie tag teamed with my mother to care for their elderly parents. When Aunt Jackie passed, my Uncle Bobby moved in with my grandparents to assist my mom with their care. Last summer, Uncle Bobby and my grandfather were both diagnosed with pancreatic masses. Uncle Bobby with terminal pancreatic cancer, and my grandfather with an aggressive form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Not long after, my grandmother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Oh, were you eating something fresh and delicious? Is that a piece of cabbage?
I'm just going to pause here.
Amanda!
Can I have a bite?
Amanda Sage, you need to mute.
No, I can mute for her. Sorry, I had to go to a bio.
I muted her, really. Sorry about that.
It's okay. So I was just saying that last summer, my Uncle Bobby and my grandfather were both diagnosed with pancreatic masses. Uncle Bobby with terminal pancreatic cancer, and my grandfather with an aggressive form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Not long after, my grandmother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. My mother had suddenly been left holding the reins over all of these affairs, from managing meals, chemotherapy treatments, and the awful side effects, and medications, to managing my grandparents' household, and as well as her own. This was already a heavy load for my mother. Then one evening last October, my mom and I discovered our dear Aunt Loretta lifeless in her bed, delivering her daily dinner. Again, my mother has had to manage an immeasurable amount of turbulence in a very short amount of time. I didn't realize how these two scenarios involving my knee and my family were related until I embarked on a recent journey at the Living Systems Art and Design Collaboratory, presented by Design Science Studio at the Buckminster Fuller Institute with Hab Ritual and the Emergent Media Design Lab at UC Irvine. In a recent talk given by Mansour Vakili at the Collaboratory, I learned about the living systems philosophy, which uses the human body as a metaphor for living systems that are self-sustaining, self-organizing, and self-healing. Furthermore, human beings are part of the universe and Earth, which are cognitive living systems containing the living structural patterns of nonlinear networks. The living systems philosophy encourages us to shift from linear left brain thinking with more masculine qualities to nonlinear right brain thinking with more feminine attributes. For example, in relationships, we move from self-assertive to integrative, rational to intuitive, and separation to connectedness, while in our values, we shift from competition to cooperation, domination to partnership, and judgmental to observant. Since the outset of my time at the Collaboratory, I've been researching how I can, through choreography and design, bring together the following ideas set forth by the Collaboratory: that all members of nonlinear networks implement their assets in cooperation and partnership to achieve the long-term goals of the whole network, creating a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts, and the human body as living systems metaphor, looking inwards to understand what's outside. Through the lens of the living systems philosophy, I see my knee injury and healing process as a metaphor of the way my family came together in a crisis. I see my grandparents, uncle and mother, as the meniscus of my knee, and each family member as the rush of fresh blood cells that intelligently and organically organize themselves around the most vulnerable in our midst to support them in a critical time of urgent need. My family, which also includes close friends and dear neighbors, have unselfishly observed what is needed, integrated themselves into a connective web of care, partnered with my mother to provide a high quality of life for our loved ones, have demonstrated intuitiveness by doing what's needed before they're ever asked. By splitting up responsibilities, my family continues to address the holistic needs of our loved ones while simultaneously conserving vital energy and resources. We have been flexible and cooperative to ensure no ball has been dropped, including my daily walk with my grandmother. I have seen through each phase of foundation rocking challenge how my family has become stronger with a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. When the country opens up with more people vaccinated, I will move forward with creating a dance piece, with the first iteration as a video production. The audience will be introduced to a family, a crisis ensues, they overcome, and through the genius of graphic design, when we pull back and take a wider macro view, the audience sees how we've been inside of the injured, healed knee the entire time. Some of the themes that I'd like to incorporate into the dance work include selflessness, cooperation, flexibility, intuition, community, nature, and of course, healing. And I'd really like to work with students because I believe that they already fundamentally know how to work with a lot of these concepts because they do it every day. And so I think that this is a great time to work with students to impart more of the living systems philosophy to them and also to deepen my own understanding of it. So I normally show a little video here, but because I am in the middle of a stormy season, it's been a little glitchy with the internet. So I'm going to skip that. But it was just some pictures and things of the choreography that I was going to show you. So through the choreography and design process, it is my desire to highlight the awesome human body as a living system. Moreover, by embracing nonlinear thinking, individuals can replicate the genius of creation and with our world generate a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. I hope to empower others to shift to nonlinear thinking, especially during crisis or chaos, when perhaps the inclination to cling to traditional linear thinking is strongest. As indicated by my experience, this crucial shift can be ultimately regenerative and life-sustaining. And I would just like to give a special thanks to Professor John Crawford at UCI, as well as Dr. Lisa Noggle at UCI, my cohort members, the UCI Dance Department, Dr. John Farrell, and of course the entire team at the Design Science Studio. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Brendan. Okay, let me get there on stage with you. Where is this music coming from? What is this magic?
It's me, I'm the culprit. While Brandy was discussing and sharing and that, I mean, really sharing that whole beautiful story, I was creating a groove. And so while creating a groove, this is the groove that remained after she told her whole story. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, Gurgiz, are you ready for what's coming?
Am I what?
Are you ready for what's coming?
I don't know. Are you ready for what's coming, Nicolas?
I'm not ready. You can never be ready for what's coming. Let me bring her on stage with us. Let's see.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I am so excited.
I'm so excited.
Ah, there you go. I found you. I found you. Hello. Okay, now I took myself off stage. I wanna go there with you. Ah, there you go. And a Gurgiz. Let's get a Gurgiz here. There you go. Hi, Gunel. How are you?
Good.
I'm excited because, like, you know, in every we have a run of show, and it has like some notes on every presenter, and sometimes I don't need to look at the notes. I already know. And in this case, I've been doing a master's degree in this woman for the last 3 years, so I got a good glimpse of what she does. And it's been such an honor to be living with this human and sharing many adventures around the world. I've seen her do many things. I've seen her paint some of the most incredible things that I've seen created with a brush. I've seen her design the most incredible things on her little without battery iPad that is dying. But with that iPad that was dying, she designed more than half of the assets that you can explore now in Topia, in each one of our Topia worlds. And then one day she woke up, and after a long life career being an artist and a painter and a filmmaker and 20 other things, she was like, you know, these clothes that I'm wearing, they don't like, I'm not sure, dude, like, I think can be done better. And she decided to become a fashion designer. So without formal education, she just created an entire fashion company that blows your mind, because it's really incredible. Everything's sustainable, organic, connected with Pachamama. And on top of that, she also is a magnificent chef and an experienced designer and a wonderful partner. And I'm really, really honored to have her here sharing.
I must intervene. I must intervene.
I must intervene.
Because you must intervene. I must intervene. the fingers of intervention.
I'll shut up. I'm biased, so I'll shut up.
No, I have a good friend of Gunel's right here who saw her on screen, and he said I can not let her get away from me without me spreading some love, because you don't know who she really is, and this friend of mine knows who she really is.
Oh, Charles, my love. What an amazing surprise.
You need to come speak, Charles. That's not
Charles,
fair.
You need to say something here.
Yeah, you can't just disappear like that.
Hi, hello, Gunel, Blue Princess. Everything that Nico said, plus an infinite million of admiration for your ability to create how we dress, to create how we eat, to create how we interact with each other. I love you so much, and I love everybody there. Love, love, love.
I love you.
I'm bringing here all your friends. I have more friends. Hi, Lina. Do you wanna give some love to Gunel as well, since we're here?
Good love. Gunel, I love you. You are a radiant beacon of creativity. Gunel teaches creativity. Not that many people teach straight up creativity. She's like, I'm gonna just teach you how to be creative.
Yeah, those kids are doing so well. They're like outsmart us already. 9th grade, and they came up with amazing projects in Topia. Yeah. Well, thank you, everyone. I feel so honored to be here, and I'm like overwhelmed with excitement. And yeah, I'm gonna take off the background. I don't like this Zoom backgrounds. One moment. Yeah. Okay, that's better. Great. So yeah, hello. I wanted to talk to all of you about nature before we jump into me talking about my project, because I'm always fascinated and honored to be close to nature because she's my greatest mentor, and she's the only one that creates and looks at materials from every direction. Nature uses exactly what it needs and doesn't waste anything. A complete recycle of matter and energy. And it creates like complete balance with symbiosis. And of course, it's a dark contrast from the cradle to grave model of today's fashion world. Unfortunately, fashion is becoming one of the most toxic industries in the world. And knowing that I'm in the fashion industry, I wanted to understand how we can show up better. How can we learn from nature and use the resources that she gives us in order to create a more sustainable future? Looking at the world, we kind of organized ourselves around fossil fuels. It's arguably the most valuable material system that we know, and we are tethered to its source. We build our economics, our culture, everything around our lives is built around it. And it's reshaping the earth in a kind of violent way that dramatically is affecting us and the climate. And it creates an accelerating rate of loss of biodiversity. And we no longer have the privilege of not paying attention, of not being affected by what we've been creating. So knowing that of what we're able to create, knowing the technology that we have and the biology that we hold, what can we create learning from nature? How can we learn to be stewards instead of consumers? And looking at all that, we really have so many incredible
incredible things that are happening in nature and science. And I wanted to go into a little nerd world of my world that I'm always fascinated with in the fashion industry and give you a little bit of glimpses of what's happening. And hopefully that will inspire all of us to see the beauty of what we can do. So I'm going to share this screen and show you some images. Okay. Here. Okay. So can you guys see?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay.
Very beautiful.
Yeah. So this is kombucha. How amazing is that? We all know kombucha, and it's a simple fermentation process, but it creates a fiber that when it's dried out, it creates fiber that is leather paper feel. And it's incredible because it grows on its own and can continue growing. It's not destructible by fire, so you can actually create uniforms for firefighters using it, and it heals itself. So because it's constantly growing, if you burn it, it will regrow back, which is really fascinating. And it's the only symbiotic fiber found outside of plants that can grow like that. And so the way you make it is that it grows and it grows. And once it dries out, you can peel off the first layering of it. And it creates this paper-like feel. And scientists are working on finding ways to make it more durable because it's still very fragile. But we keep finding new ways of improving this beautiful material. And now I want to show you kelp. Kelp, it's incredible. It's the fastest growing organism in the world. It can grow up to 2 feet per day. And what can kelp do? Kelp can turn into really cool fiber that can replace polyester altogether. It's like, it feels like plastic. It can be strong as plastic. You can also use it for materials of all sorts, which is pretty incredible. And it doesn't stop there. We have leather replacements, right? We have mushroom, we have pineapple, we have cactus leather. So all those things are already available to us, which is pretty damn fascinating. So we have all that we need to really change how we interact with materials. There are companies that learn from biomimicry and imitate spider web. The same ways that spiders make their web, they can make threads now, and they're super strong and durable. So understanding all that, I was curious to explore how I can show up and what I can do with all the materials that we have. I created this clothing company, and we call it wearable art because it is really out there. It's very edgy and strange. And we committed to creating it with using all the natural dyes and organic and cruelty-free fabrics. But what interested me is creating it with zero waste. So the way we create our patterns are very strange, and that's why the clothing looks very odd, but it uses all the little pieces, and we have zero fabric wasted, and the tiniest pieces that get accumulated, we collect them and turn them into other garbage, like dust bags and things to accessorize our clothing with. So we started having like zero waste pledge and ethical source fabrics, and I used organic cotton and a pea silk, so no silkworms were killed in the process. That was all great. But I wanted to understand what we could do if we could like really push the boundaries. And then I found this fascinating element in the world. This is orange. Yes, through a microscope. And apparently, orange can replace silk altogether. And there's so much of it in the world that goes to waste. So we can use orange pulp and turn it into fabric. And that is so fascinating because also microfibers contain vitamin C. So when you're wearing the fabric, your body is actually absorbing vitamin C, and it stays within the fabric for up to 20 washes, which is incredible. I'm actually wearing one. This is all made out of orange. And it's soft and silky and strong, and I'm just fascinated with that. So understanding what we can do with orange pulp, I wanted to use nature's principles and Bucky's understanding of how to use all the elements that are available to us. So I created this kimono that is basically, I call it the puzzle piece, because we design it in a way that we use all the fabrics and we stitch every little triangle together in creating those kimonos. And yeah, we're gonna also put the Maxian map on the back, and it's all going to be colored and painted with natural dyes. But what I wanted to do is also to make everyone touch nature and understand it in a more meaningful way, the way I work with nature in deep connection. So created a kit, and everyone who will buy a kimono can get a kit of all the natural dyes that we use, from like just onion skins to avocado pits that they can find in their compost, and use all the different minerals that we attach in the kit, and can make their DIY project of coloring their kimono. And with that, they can also understand that polyester does not get dyed with natural pigments. So nature already it does all the work for us to separate and teach us of the natural ways of doing it. So yeah, this is the project that we came up with and wanted to get it out there in the world so we all can become stewards and wear those uniforms with a lot of pride. You can find more information about the world in Topia. I created a little walkthrough pass where you can learn all about materials and natural dyes and geek out even more with me on sustainability. If you feel the calling, come find me and I can share more about what's happening in the world of fibers, which to me is super exciting. So yeah, this is it.
So I'm gonna do a thing that she's probably gonna hate me for, but I spent good 3 months trying to convince her to do a crowdfunding campaign for that kimono, and I was not able to come through. It was just like no, too much work. I don't have the so
I don't do Kickstarters. Too much work.
That's fine. That's fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put her email there on the chat, and you're gonna write her an email if you would like to pre-buy one of those dope ass kimonos, so she can put a list. And once you have the minimum order, I think we need to have 10 or so to be able to produce it. So order at least 10 so we can get these things started and get it going. And in the meantime, I'm also gonna show you for a second the Topia world she created. Thank you, Kunal, for creating all these assets for us. If you go to
and so much of the art,
Topia.io,
if you've gone to our website, you'll see all of Kunal's collages that she's made at the studio. Kunal has touched almost everything.
you can explore here. You can click on all the things and they'll give you more information about the project. And if you're lucky and you go here till the end of this wonderful world, you'll find a cocoon, and from time to time you'll also find Gunel inside and you can ask her questions. Yeah, come explore. It's southeast of the art district. Where is the cocoon? You didn't put the cocoon?
I put the least amount of time into my project. There were so many assets that required immediate assistance. I'll add the cocoon.
We'll add the cocoon.
I'll add the cocoon at some point.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank
Kenny,
you,
for
guys.
sharing all your art.
And your heart. You are an inspiration. And speaking of inspiration, we have a surprise. Oh, but where did our surprise go? Was our surprise? I think we maybe lost our surprise. Dave. It's not very.
Yes.
Dave Zabrowski. I can't find him.
We've been here saying that we need to write a song for Gunel, which is called Amazing. Like amazing. And like while she was talking and showing everything, like Charles was like telling me all about her, and like wow, it's like we had the whole backstory here. And so he actually said that one of the reasons why it seems that this guy has superpowers is because she closed Charles. So if you want superpowers, you know what the play is. You need to sponsor Gunel. That's it. That's half the deal. Yeah. Roxy, tell me, my dear, is it time right now to introduce a very, very special animator? Is that what the time is?
Well, he was here and then he disappeared. I don't know what happened.
Well, there's no
A true wizard.
A true wizard.
True.
He's not here with us. It's okay. But we have John Ash, which is ready to take over. Is that right?
Yes, we do. Look at how handsome he is. Oh, guys, by the way, I love him and he loves me and I love Ganel and Ganel loves Nico. Anyways, I'm not saying we're in a polyamorous relationship. I'm just saying that our partners
We are all married to each other for sure.
It's called Regena polyamory. A new word for everybody. So the people at the Oxford Dictionary get even angry, or Cambridge, whatever you call it, Merriam-Webster get really angry at us. But again, I'm really happy that John is taking over. Again, I really appreciate when we speak with artists who can really expand the way we understand music. And his take is very different from ours. Mine, if you take Amanda Gregory as well. So it's really, really beautiful. Or if you take Casely, every person here has a different way of interpreting their craft. So one of the loveliest things is when you actually start seeing that you thought you were an outsider, but you see that other people within your art form are also outsiders, and you actually start broadening those horizons of possibilities even more. And with that, John, the stage is yours.
Hi, can you see the lyric?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This started as a cover. I don't even remember why I started to play it, but then just a whole other song came out. So it starts as a cover and turns into a song I wrote. As I was walking a ribbon of highway, I saw above me an endless skyway. I saw below me a golden valley. This land was made of you and me. This land is your land. This land is mine. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I've roamed and I've rambled, I've followed my footsteps in the sparkling sands of the diamond deserts. And all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. It seems to me the only thing holding man to his land is how much he's going in the area of violence against his fellow man. What's a man to do when he doesn't have enough? What's a man to do when his neighbor has too much? Say that this is our land. I don't see it in the facts. Something that is borrowed, we have to give it back. As we know the earth is dying, as a peril on ahead. So we say that this is our land. All the land is dead. This land's not my land. This land's not our land. It's for the people who live within. How could a being on where there be and other beings will need a place to be? Do I have time for a 2-minute song?
See. You want to unmute yourselves and share your voices?
Mateo.
Do I have time for a 2-minute song? The one you wanted me to? Okay.
4 minimum.
Say more.
And I don't need your fear. Okay. I don't need your pride, and I don't need your fear, 'cause I'll find it all out as I spin through the sphere of myself and others. We will bind together, we will find another somewhere throughout time. So don't discount my growth. I can spin on my own, and I'll fight off your fire with a breath of ozone. From the heart of my core flows out magnetic folds. They will cast off your words and will make us a home. Raised us so well, we can walk on our own. We can do all the things that we need to make home now. With all of our people and all of our pride, we'll find one another, we'll seek out the light. So don't discount our growth. We can walk on our own, and the world's not alone when the earth is our home. So breathe. The light hits your eyes, just breathe with me.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you for letting me share my music.
Thank you for making music.
Beautiful, thank you.
Roxy.
Yeah.
May I offer and suggest something?
Sure, can I say something nice about my beloved?
About John?
About John, yeah. About John Ash.
For me, one of the lovely things, and I'm going to say very, very sincerely, is that I really don't believe that an artist nowadays can do anything interesting if they don't have that kind of polymath this kind of thing. I think it kind of informs everything you do. And I think in that sense, when you have a person and you also read, you find out what they're all about and also why they're doing the whole thing. It becomes it adds a completely different, what would you say? A different angle. It adds depth, which is what all of the people here. I mean, no, there are no random characters here. There's no people, who could not hold your attention, or no person with which you would not like to be stuck in an airport lounge in a long stopover in Warsaw, Poland for 15 hours. Of course, I take John, of course, and I take anybody else from the cohort. And that's why I think that one of the important things right here that you've been doing, Roxy, with Nico and everybody else, is you have become gourmand, ¿cómo se dice? Como catadores de personas, de seres humanos? Oh, he said human tasters. Imagine that. No, like human collectionists. You collect beautiful humans. So this is a beautiful, 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 beautiful collection of exceptional. I would have said hippies, but somebody already called my attention and said, don't call us hippies anymore. So exceptional human beings.
And this one, as you said, is a polymath. He is a machine learning engineer and a musician. And he's obsessed, maybe that's not the right word, but he's dedicated to figuring out a way to shift our socioeconomic system away from incentivizing profit to incentivizing social good. And then he thinks about it, and then he finds the most beautiful ways of translating the complexity of this world into music and art. Amazing. I'm impressed by you, John Ash. And, oh my gosh. Okay, our surprise is here. Dun, da, da, da.
Can Charles introduce him? Because he actually knows.
Okay, Charles, come on.
Charles, go ahead.
Surprise.
Take the stage. You can go closer? Yeah.
So,
there you go.
In this world, there are actual magicians. There are actual masters of their craft. There are people who build worlds, who with their lines and with their gestures manage to literally write in our imagination, in our memory. And Dave is one of those humans. I met Dave in a castle in Poland at the College of Extraordinary Experiences, which actually the creator of the college is right now on this call as well, which is magic, right? And Dave had this way of moving himself like a pencil in the space, connecting with humans and painting them and creating these realities. This human has imprinted images that you have in your brain right now. The Lion King, Pocahontas, and things like that, right? Where he, with his line, drew in the mind of millions. And that is a true inspiration. That is true mastery and something we all aspire to do. Dave, it's such an honor to have you here, to introduce you. So much love for you, and so happy to share this virtual space with you.
Oye, Charles, but say that he drew Pocahontas and Lion King. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
it's like his lines are imparted in the infant, in all of your childhood memories forever and ever. It's his fault.
I mean, you know what's crazy?
Welcome, Dave.
Is I'm hearing this introduction and I'm thinking, I'm Dave. Is there another Dave out there that's done that too? but no, I guess it's me you're talking about. Nice. And Jurgis, you are emceeing the hell out of this thing. Thank you. I mean, dang, it's a joy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, wow, what a thank you, Charles Michel, for that introduction. It's beautiful. I'm honored to be here. I, Roxy, how can I be of service? Amanda, hello.
Well, you're just such an incredibly important human, and you're a member of the Design Science Studio, which is beautiful because you applied as a revolutionary, but you also are a visionary in the Design Science Studio who came to impart your beautiful wisdom on many things, of course, but one of the main things that I was hoping you could share with all of these beautiful humans is about this transition between the hero's journey to the kindred quest, and like activating that story also in our collective paths that we are all weaving towards sparking and tending to our unique essence in this world.
Nice.
Is that
Cool.
is that okay prompt?
Yeah, so you just want to wind me up, and then how much time do you want me to?
10 minutes, go.
All right, and I appreciate the introductions, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to share some stuff. And let me start by saying that we're all important humans, that being human, man, the odds of you getting here, holy cow, astronomical. So that you're here is already your first miracle. Congratulations. So I'm going to share some stuff that really is kind of just stuff that was shared with me. So maybe I'll just give a little insights that I think you all already feel. And it's this idea that we are living inside of a changing story. So we are storytellers. A little bit about my background. I was an animator at Disney Studios for a little while. I worked during what was called the second golden age of animation on projects like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, Pocahontas, Hunchback of Notre Dame, all of those amazing movies. I was part of the cohort that was creating it. And so I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've learned from the inside of stories, from the best storytellers in the world. In the kind of chocolate factory, because that's what it was like at the time. And so for us who love and watch and carefully tend stories, we can see an evolution of stories throughout history. Specifically, what Roxy wants to talk about right now is this idea that we are on this cusp of a really exciting change in story that represents every time there's a great change in story, in the kind of cultural mindset, there's a change in values. There's a change in what we value. So I want to piece these two things together. So come back with me in time to the 30s and 40s, where American individualism sort of caused the storytelling that had all of these superheroes emerge. And you had extraordinary heroic feats, from the Lone Ranger to Superman, and all of that stuff kind of wove its way into the zeitgeist of the cultural expressions of humans in Western civilization to kind of go on a hero's journey. You know, we saw this expressed by Joseph Campbell and Bill Moyers in The Power of Myth. Man, I came home from college, I watched that, I was like, oh my God, this is mind-blowing. If you haven't seen it, it's old, but it is Joseph Campbell talking with Bill Moyers about the power of myth. It's extraordinary. And in this, he really kind of awakens our culture to this idea of the hero's journey. And you can see it expressed in Star Wars, right? You have this cycle that the hero goes on. They get called into the wild. They meet an old guy who gives him some kind of mission to go get. He has to fight a bad guy and beat that bad guy. And by beating the bad guy, he gets some elixir. And with that elixir, he returns back to his garden so he can tend his garden with this new elixir and new awareness, the hero's journey. We all have carried our own hero's journey. But then what happens when the hero's journey is over? What's next? And so there's a woman named Joanna Macy, and along with Barbara Marx Hubbard, who just passed away recently, they spoke about this idea of a great turning, a shift in the story that we're telling the world through our acts and creations. That shift is this place where where you have an evolution in story, and that evolution is what comes after the hero's journey. And so that's what this whole thing is. The Design Science Studio is what comes next. Joanna Macy called it the kindred quest, that place where all of the heroes come together with their inimitable skills and abilities. I mean, the talent in this group is spectacular. Those people all come together for this kindred quest for a story that's bigger than you. And that is the key, that shift in story. What is it that's bigger than you? And that has to be this revolution in values. And so this is how this weaves in. The story that we're telling is an expansion of what we see as valuable. We now see that it's more than matter that matters, that it, in this past, in a material realist conception of the world, like matter matters. Life is the atoms are the building blocks of life, and consciousness is kind of an accident. It's what they call an epiphenomenon. But in other places, in other value considerations, consciousness is everything. Love has value. Those unseen things have value. And so let me tie this to today. So there's two predominant stories. There's a Western story and an Eastern story. The Western story is the ship of Theseus. We just saw this in WandaVision. The ship of Theseus is this ship that was found dredged up. It belonged to Theseus, and it's been on display for 1,000 years. And over time, each piece of that ship has been replaced with a replica piece made by a craftsman, but it's still not the original piece. And so today there's not a piece left on that ship that remained from what was there before. And so we say, is it still the ship of Theseus, right? Now in the West, we would say, well, no, it's been replaced. It's totally a replica. It's not the same ship. But in the East, there's a pagoda. This pagoda has stood for 1,000 years as an antenna to the divine, as a place of worship and creativity. It has been burned down 16 times, been knocked over 3 times by people who didn't want it there, and put back up again with meticulous care and craftsmanship. Is this still the same pagoda? Well, in the East, they would say yes, because it is not just a physical space. It is a conscious space. Without human consciousness, that tower could not stand. And so it is both a physical place and a conscious space. And the consciousness has as much reality in our perceptions of what's real as does a nickel. And so that, to me, is the exciting story shift that we're in right now, is this movement from matter mattering, and you have to have matter. If you don't have matter, you don't matter. The more matter I have, or the more access to matter, the more I'm going to matter, is bullshit. And so now we're moving into this place where conscious space has value. This design science space as a kindred quest has value. The vision train as an idea, as a conscious space, has value. And so it's why things like NFTs, Amanda, that's right. It's why things like NFTs are an interesting exploration, why Bitcoin and these things are popping up, because they're an exploration and an expansion of the story of what is valuable. Can a non-physical object have a conscious value that is worth something to other people? And so, that to me is an exciting shift. I'm not saying that NFTs are the thing. I'm saying that the fad is a result of this breaking of the story away from what matters as matter to something else that can matter, something else that can be important, like love. And so, so that is kind of how I would see I think to close, I would say that the beacon that you listen for when you're looking for this kindred quest, and for me, it's like a mission. I look for places where there's a kindred quest happening, and I go and play there. And so for me, that place is that place where a bunch of people have come together after their hero's journey in love to co-create from that place. And that's how you know you found a kindred quest. And so I think that you're here. Well done, people. You're on one. And now it's time to spread the love. So that's all I got. Durgus? Durgus, play me out.
Play you out. Oh, brother, I'm going to play you in. I'm playing you in. You think you going somewhere now? No, sir. Boys and girls, if you've been here since the very beginning, you will know that the theme of today, the word of the day is believe. It's believe, right? Dave, it was so beautiful that you were talking about this power of creation we have, which all of a sudden has entered this dimension with a new force. And so what we were saying and mentioning, I'm sorry, did I interrupt you? You were going to add something.
Oh, you know, I'm nodding my head. Yeah, belief is everything. That's what makes a story so powerful. And so if we're changing the story, it changes beliefs. So yeah, baby, go. You riff. It's all you.
Brother, we were talking about belief in the power that artists have, because scientists can describe, right, what is, but artists create the future. And we've been discussing age-old technologies in this space, one of which is backcasting, another which is, what did we call it? Uninhibited imagination. Dave, in this space, you can say anything you want and people are gonna love you for it. We've been talking about flying cities. Imagine flying cities. We've been talking about things which would even leave the crypto community thinking, God, these people are crazy. Yeah, and that's what's amazing about this space. And it becomes active and powerful because we are believing in it, we are believing in each other, and we are believing in ourselves in this space right here. And so what we want to do is create a little bit of a vessel so that we can create, I wouldn't say create, that we can distill the energy we've been working on together. This is a space where we can channel what is deep inside us and bring it out. And we did it this afternoon. It was really beautiful. So I'm going to ask you all to sit straight, sit up, have faith. No, don't have faith. Believe in your power to connect to something within, to connect with the truth within.
Believe in belief.
Believe in belief. So be still. Be still. Be still and wait for the voice to arise. Be still. And when you find it, seize it. Let it fill your body, let it occupy your mind. And raise your voices, yeah. And raise your voices. Then raise your voices and project it outwards onto the world. Who has something for this space?
What's the prompt? What exactly would you like us to share, Jurgis? Are we beaming?
We're trying.
Yeah.
No, we're not actually trying to. We are beaming at the moment. Only a critical mass has not realized it yet. We are allowing ourselves.
I'm ready to go. I'm gonna do something that we did at the clubhouse that I think was fun, and with your music is so perfect. So one of the things that we are very excited about at the Science Studio is the creation of new words, because with new words you can create new worlds, because the world is made of words, and if you know the words the world is made of, you can make of it whatever you wish. So we've been creating a dictionary, and I'm gonna share some of these words with you. Let's see. What am I gonna read? Let's start with
Every good story needs a human being to start with. don't they? Good word for you. That just came up the last few days. Human beings.
Let's start with
Nicolas,
regeneration. I'm there.
You are reading the wrong screen. You're reading the wrong screen. You need to
Why?
close your eyes and you need to connect with the screen within.
Screen within.
I trust you, man. I believe you. Your heart has that information deep inside. If you close your eyes.
Kyrgyz, let me give you a word. How about the word Numan? Do you know what a Numan is? You don't know what a Numan is?
Yeah, Newman's right before you become a leprechaun.
Exactly. A Numan is a human that takes into account nature, because we are nature. So we should change from humans to Numans.
Now we can put the hippie term away. We can refer to each other as humans. I like this one.
Exactly.
This is a good one.
How about this one? How about Grinch? It's a name given to climate activists that boycott the act of cutting down trees for Christmas. Are you a Grinch? I am a Grinch.
No, I'm not a Grinch. I haven't been a Grinch for 8 years. I'm a rehabilitated Grinch. All right, let's focus the energy. Let's focus the energy. I would like to hear Dan say something.
I always start solo, but then eventually the rhythm comes back. And then I must just keep on going.
That's right, going. We're going. Remembering how to flow. We are going, we are flowing. Let me ask something. Has anybody here encountered the word flow and considered it to be misused in recent times? Dave, yes. Can you inform this conversation with your perspective, brother?
Okay, I'll be brief. There's a poem from Hafiz that says the difference between a good artist and a great one is that the vintage man puts down the mind's hammer, puts down his hammer on the mind's table and no longer smashes the easels in jade, but keeps on sculpting light. It's this idea that flow is a thing that I don't give a shit about because I'm inside the process. So I think the pursuit of flow is mistaken. That what I like, my practice is to find the hot and cold. Am I hot on a process or am I cold on it? And can I live in the oscillation between the two until that they both are simultaneous? And then that could be flow, but I don't give a shit because I don't even know my name in that moment. And so when I think about hot and cold, I think about like, oh my God, look at the color on that guy's cheek, how it blends into the violet of his skin. And then it turns into the sternocleidomastoid muscle coming into the clavicle from the zygomatic arch. Like I'm going back and forth. Like what's the academic? What's the love? What's the reason for it? What's the passion for it? And when I can play inside of that oscillation, man, that's all there is to it. And that's what I play for. So I don't know what flow is. For me, it's just the process of finding that that understanding of the thing that I'm looking at so that I can become it. That's what I would say.
So I have something about flow. So let me offer what the water spirits taught me. So first of all, if you close your eyes, just close your eyes and imagine a water falling all around you. a waterfall falling all around you. And now imagine from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, a waterfall falling through you from the top of your head through the bottom of your feet. And the thing about water is, and I think this is true of all creative processes, if we just follow how water works. So if there's an obstacle, water just flows around it, doesn't stop. And water doesn't know where it's going. It has an idea there's an ocean out there, but when the water's in the river, it just keeps going. It doesn't really know how it's getting to the ocean. And so I think if you're stuck, just think about water. Stay out of your head and think about water. That's what water taught me.
Does water know that it's water? It doesn't know it's being fluid. It has no notion of it. It just is. It's
It probably
amazing.
does not even have an awareness of its awareness.
But that's the beauty of these spaces. If I believe in you, you believe in me, we believe in each other, we believe in this, then the ego has nowhere to exist. And all of a sudden, things come into a tighter, more focused perspective. It's very beautiful, very beautiful. I think we have time for one more beam. Who's got something for us? Who's got one more beam? We're still. Who will raise their voice? Who will raise their voice?
I would like to contribute it. I'm not attached to it being the final one. Can you hear me okay? I have a headset on.
Perfect.
I will. What this entire week has, sorry, I have a hat over my headset. It looks wonky. Anyway, what I've gotten so present to is the long failed science experiment known as humanity. The Regenaissance rising is about the sacred feminine and humanity, as it always should have been. I sound intense when I talk of that. I've been grappling with this for years as an adoptee, strewn into the world, but it's a joy within me to have this awaken this week at this level. Really is. Thank you.
So beautiful.
So beautiful.
Oh, so beautiful. And we have another beam. It's come to us from a hologram. Are you ready?
From a series of sisters, perhaps?
From us, yes. How did you know?
Move me.
How did you know? Okay. Everyone, this message comes to you from a series of sea stars. From a series of sea stars. Hold on, I gotta make sure it's gonna do it the right way. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess up the vision from the sea stars. Okay. These women are all working day in and day out for the future of this planet. Speaking of women, in the different ways, through government, through education, through business, through community, and they write songs about helping facilitate this transition. One of them is our very own Amanda Joy Ravenhill, and they made this song just for us. They recorded the song just for Regeneration Rising. And now we will hear their beam for all of you.
Move me beyond mountains, sow the seeds of whispered light, breaking through the graveled history to the world we know is right. Move me, Mother, move me, teach my heart to open wide. Move me, Mother, move me, so we sing, so we're alive. When our fields are lying fallow, and the seeds of discontent have been planted in our minds, what we see is what we get. So we stand and ask forgiveness from the mother of us all for trespassing on the land. Say a prayer before the fall. Move me, Mother, move me, teach my heart to open wide. Move me, Mother, move me, so we sing, so we're alive. Oceans deep and heavens high, we don't have another choice. Hands in dirt, we love this planet. Hand in hand, we are one voice. Move me, Mother, move me, teach my heart to open wide. Move me, Mother, move me, so we sing, so we're alive.
Yeah. And with that, I think, one of the things we really wanted to do in this container was to honor this moment. I think there's something beautiful about the fact that the Vision Train art show is called The Transition, right, Amanda? Yeah. And this original container of the Design Science Studio was built to help build capacity for the creative community to support in the regenerative transition that we have to go to. And these women and all of these women and our Mama Gaia and all of this beautiful energy is here because we can do this together. This is the decade. And if we don't do it now, we won't be able to. And we're regenerating this planet and we're reimagining our future and we're regeniusing humanity through a reorientation to nature's design. And we know that art and design is this cross-cultural language for systemic change. And during this era of regeneration, we are doing it. We're transforming our collective creative capacity and attuning to that which is our true nature, this harmonic circular future of thriving for all by envisioning it, by embodying it. And we thank you so much. And I want to just bring up Jurgis and thank him before we transition to Amanda Gregory's beautiful performance. She's going to do a performance as we hold this container of transition. And before you go, Jurgis, I just think that everyone, it would be beautiful if you could raise your voices in gratitude to this maestro who has guided us through this week tirelessly.
Thank you.
I'm tired.
I love you, Jurgis.
Words,
Thank you, good
Love
sir.
you, man. Love you, brother.
You're
incredible.
amazing.
Gracias, Jackie.
Beautiful. Okay, you're going to have to come to New York.
Do you know what my favorite word is? Of my favorite reword? On all honesty, it's resonance. It's resonance. And again, I really believe that because I'm a musician perhaps, or maybe a person who loves music, I believe that the magic of the highest order is music. Everything is vibrations. There are sympathetic vibrations and antipathetic vibrations that don't like you. They're dissonant vibrations, right? And so music is just beautiful vibrations. And so I feel that when we are together, we make music. We are musical. Our molecules start to vibrate and go, oh, this feels so nice, because we feel that we're in good company, because we feel our beliefs, our real values are in good company. And so I think that the best thing you can do for me is to take a little bit of that resonant energy, which was my mission here today, to activate it, because you had it within you. We had it within ourselves. But until we start going, oh, and hearing somebody reply,
oh,
exactly. Our molecules don't know they're in good company. So I'm going to close the space, or at least my part of the space, with a lot of gratitude, hand it over to Amanda Gregory. But I would like to enter in a deep state of resonance with you. And I'm going to ask you to do it diligently, not for me. Do it for yourselves, so that your being knows that you are right now in a state of resonance. And I'm going to ask you to grab and sing with me one note. And you can choose the note. I'm going to suggest it, but hold it, and enjoy being that one note in changing circumstances, in changing harmonies, in changing rhythms, okay? And the note is the following. You should mute yourself. Sing. Oh, or you can say, oh. Feel the beautiful note vibrating within you. Keep it. Enjoy the note. We know that seasons come and go. We're still not used to their eternal ebb and flow. We should know the swell of darkness sometimes leaves us short of breath. Though we're looking sharp and prim, our hollow eyes reveal a melancholy whim. I bought a bottle and cigarettes, but they're just flares on SOS. Oh, but I'll be okay, 'cause you're singing, oh, oh. See, spring will come again. Spring will come again. Spring will come again. Spring will come again. Spring will come
We love you, Yurgis. Thank you. Recreacionista. You have taken us through every re.
Every re.
Every re.
Those were your re. For me, it's not difficult as long as the people are good. In resonance, you don't need to sing loud because people support you. In resonance, you don't need to express a lot. You know, you can mess up your idea because people understand you. And so I'm really grateful. It's you. It's you. You are the mirrors of what I am, and I'm projecting onto you what I would like to see in the world. It is, for me, an experiment in ego evaporation. And for that, I thank you with all my heart. And I'd like to get a round of applause for the recreacionista in training, Charles.
Charles really wanted to participate, and then he was like, oh, but I'm too busy maybe, and I can't. And then here he is. Yay, Charles, we love you.
You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Well, that's his story. All right, baby.
Love you, Yurgis, love you, Charles, mis colombianos.
And just because, so you don't think that I'm leaving my post, I would like to really ask you to support Amanda. Right now, she's going to take this groove. She's taking this groove, this magic. Whoop, Amanda, over to you. Whoop, receive. There, good. Shook. There, you've got it. We are supporting you, and we are waiting for you to put that resonant frequency into a higher state of resonance, or as Roxana has been saying for the past 3 days, elevating us to another octave.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, what an incredible introduction. I've never experienced anything quite like, and I'm so deeply honored and moved to be in this community right now with each of you. This design science studio was kind of a dream come true. I was hoping something like this would exist to bring us all together in our creative expression. And I'm so honored to be able to bring it home this evening for this week of amazing contributions from so many brilliant people, brilliant hearts committed to co-creating an ever evolving, beautiful world. And I would like to start by sharing a piece that I actually worked on and made this week with Maxie Cohen, who's here. She's got the background of water. And this is a piece that was inspired by some of the key themes that actually Dave Zabowski was pointing to when he spoke, which I found to be just deeply inspiring, is this origin of life story and the possibility of it having occurred in hot springs with the alchemical interaction of water, earth, ancient DNA proteins, and organelles. So in this piece, I combine the sound of this water movement with the heartbeat of the earth, the Schumann resonance of 7.83 hertz, which is a mathematical equation made from the electromagnetic fields in coordination with the gravitational pulls from the other planetary bodies. And it seemed to bring out the inherent melodic structure of the mud, which is the footage of this video from Iceland, revealing the organic sonic signature of its unique rhythms and harmonics. Then you will hear layers of vocals echoing with complementary polyrhythmic divisions of 528 hertz. So if you have headphones, I really highly recommend, because the panning may or may not sync up with some fundamental vibrational rhythm that we're experiencing just being alive in this planetary experience. And there is a hidden mantra in the song that came while recording and explores a playful narrative of the Earth's complex interconnected processes being an expression of the universe's perhaps primordial desire for life to emerge. So I'm going to go ahead and play this piece, and then I'm going to silently switch over to my other set where I'm going to live perform a piece called Synesthetics, which is some water sounds, 528 hertz frequency, and live generated psychoacoustic vocals like binaural frequencies and bilateral harmonics. And yeah, this piece is really intended just to create a field of resonance like Jurgis has been speaking to, and to continue transitioning into this night of unbridling ourselves to new levels of creativity and new dimensions. So I hope that you enjoy, and please be patient with me as I transition everything. And I will look to Roxy or Nico to make sure that all the sound is coming through, and we'll go ahead and begin. Wow, I'm so sorry for that, everyone. I hope that your ears are okay. It was having Ableton Live while playing this screen share video has not occurred before, so my apologies for that. It should be fine now. Everyone take a deep breath and just let it go with me. Ready? Here we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's try that again.
Thank you, Amanda. And Vincent now will guide us in a prayer. Your angelic force still with us here.
Well, they tell us to pray from the heart. And I kind of had a plan. And then this happened. There goes the plan. So I don't know. I'm just going to go with, I'm sorry. I had for thought to like say this prayer, this and that. And in the spirit of vibration, we're just gonna, I thought about singing some old songs like that are focused on vibration, different sound ranges for healing. And then it felt like performative or weird. And so I'm just gonna sing from my heart, like songs that really touch my heart. And when we sing these prayer songs, as we call them, we're thinking something as we sing. So we're not memorizing lyrics, we're thinking something. And the intention is sent out vibrationally. So I'm gonna do a mishmash, different medicine songs. I'm gonna make them very quick. Or very, very quick songs. Thank you. And that's all I have to say. I keep it to that. Is that okay?
Thank you, Vincent. That's perfect.
Just add we really need to take some time. I think each and every one of us really consider the full potential what we created together and what that entails and what kind of responsibility these kinds of hopes and dreams have attached to them and the sacrifices that are ahead of us, the difficulties, the challenges, but also the song of beauty and laughter. Really think about the fact that this is the best moments in our lives. We're not gonna keep pushing that feeling forward. This is it. This is the highest enjoyment of your life if you can stay here and really take in this wild, wild, wild ride you've been on and be humbled, I think, by all of it, because I know I am. Thank you so much, Roxy and everyone. And I want to finish my words by giving some thoughts for people that are having a hard time, people that are thirsty, hungry, that are not sheltered properly, people that are incarcerated. We really got to put some thoughts to each and every one of them, victims of abuse, people that are struggling in any which way, because thoughts have to be with them if any of what we're doing has sense. And with that, I say again, ho mitakuias, my relations.
Thank you, Vincent. That was an honor. We're honored to be transitioning with you in such a deep and of your heart. You gave us the songs of your heart. And thank you for bringing in those who are not currently with us, the ones who need this work, the ones who we're working for. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda Gregory. That beautiful performance. So incredible. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you for the sounds of your children in the background, for gracing us with their beautiful voices always. And for Maya, who earlier today drank the water, the sacred water of this.
Maya was conceived, not born, conceived on December 21st, 2012, whatever it was. That day she was conceived at that moment. Just want to say that much. It's pretty cool.
That's incredible. Well, with this, we are going to transition to someone who I love so deeply and who has believed in me to no end, and who I am lucky and grateful to call a co-creator in this world, who is one of the brightest revolutionary beams for regeneration I have ever known, Miss Becca Dakini. And as we welcome you to the stage, my love, I'm going to just play a gratitude in the background. And this gratitude extends out to all of the whole train and everyone who's not here and not listed. We thank you. And we are so excited to kick into this decade, into high gear. I think the clutch is in. Do we shift up or down?
Up.
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 Up. Up.
Up. Up. Up. Up.
Yep. Shifting up, y'all. Thank you to everyone who made this happen, all of the team, and all of the train, all of the visionaries, all those who have come before us and those who will come after, the generations that we are humbly devoted to supporting so that they get to experience the beauty that we get to experience. Your creativity into our future, we thank you. To all of those who have come to support the studio, the visionaries, the captains of every pod. So much gratitude to all of those creators. And I'm going to be doing a screen share during Becca's set, because Vince, go Vince, we love you, Vince, taught me how to make my camera on my computer. So I'll be able to spotlight and do an art tour while Becca takes us on a journey, which is pretty neat. So with that, I am going to welcome you, Becca. And whenever you're about to start playing, I'll stop the stream. But first, I would love to capture your voice in the stream before we close the public stream.
Hi, beautiful people. I am so happy to be closing out this epicness of a week of creation and inspiration and visioning and beaming. And I think calling and painting and dancing and basically weaving the new reality that we're all visioning, we're all calling in, and we're all needing so much right now in the world. So I think I want some of that hug.
This would not have happened without this man right here.
Well done, guys. Well done, Nico. What a job you've done. Seriously, you guys have been holding it down. It's been a marathon this week.
This week she said it's been 8 months.
I know. So yeah, just like super super huge amounts of respect your way for what you've done during this time. I was saying before, I get to come in at a light touch and wave some music and help throw in some content and do some little things around the edge of the time I have. But just seeing what this studio has created, and the train as well, as these spaces for us to gather during this time of distance, I feel like in a way these have been like cultural incubators and accelerators that have kept creativity going and kept connection going. And in fact, there's all this newness and new community being birthed out of this. So I'm so excited for what comes next, because it feels like things are just being seeded and birthed and grown. So yeah, I'm curious. And I'm just going to keep on wondering what comes next, because I think there's so much potency here. And just like that little sprout on your head, I feel like there's a lot of things that are starting to grow now. So yeah, I just want to say, like, I feel like you've created portals to the new world that we know is possible through these experiences and through these creations. And just so much respect for these platforms that bring all these collaborators and visionaries together. And we need each other, we need village, we need community. And I think we know the work that needs to be done ahead of us in this decade. And I couldn't think of a better team and a better crew to be co-creating this with on the journey. So yeah, total like choo-choo on the train, Amanda and team, and Roxy and Nico and everybody else. We are on the journey, and we've officially left the platform, that's for sure.
Left the station.
Yeah, and guys, like, I'll leave you with one thought. It can be like this all the time. Life can be like this.
Yes.
It's on us.
Well, and it is like this. Well, I'm going to take you guys on a little journey tonight. We're going to play some music to celebrate the kind of, I guess, completion of this particular chapter and moving into the next one. So who knows where the music will go tonight, but I hope you'll enjoy it. And I really look forward to seeing lots of beautiful co-creation during this journey. And Roxy, take us on an art tour. I'm just really the soundtrack for the experience. So let's go.
Let's do it. Amanda Sage, any final thoughts as we close the stream, my love? Drawing out the vision.
So honored to be riding this wave with you. It's like some crazy deja vu happening. I feel like I remember all of you from, ancient futures. So looking forward to everything that's going to come. We got this. Fully on board.
Oh, and it's a full moon. So should we choo-choo for the full moon?
Yeah,
and then
collective
we'll close
choo-choo
the
on
stream?
3. 1, 2, 3. Choo-choo!